All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes. Happy Camel, happy Hump Day, everybody. Hello.
What is happening?
How's your Wednesday?
Look at you rocking some hockey gear over there. You ready? Hockey season? Let's go, baby.
Ooh.
Blue Line Brandon's ready to go.
I tell you a secret.
You got a dirty secret for me?
It's not a dirty secret. It's just a secret.
Oh, yeah.
I wear this to basketball practice because I practice in the middle of the night sometimes. And I think my team thinks this is a Nelson High School sweatshirt because we're the Hawks.
The Hawks. The logo is actually pretty similar, is it not?
It's very close. And their colors started out as like silver and black, but now they've molded in some gold.
Yeah.
I actually think the gold was a bad idea. That's a hot take. But so when I wear this, I don't think they have any idea it's a Winterhawk sweatshirt. I'm pretty sure they think it's a Nelson High School sweatshirt.
Yeah, I just pulled up the Nelson High School logo. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Pretty similar.
When you throw the gold around it,
the gold,
it changes.
You can't avoid that.
So it kind of works. I get to support our local hockey team.
And you're supporting your local high school
And
where
I'm a
the
coach.
kids are feeding into. You're a coach at Nelson. You might as well wear some Nelson gear during a game.
Exactly.
You know? So it's kind of two birds with one stone, baby.
Exactly.
You ready to watch Team USA today? 12:10?
I am.
12:10 hockey game.
12:10 p.m.?
12:10 p.m.
That's the men, women?
That is the men.
The women are 10, right?
Women play
Women
tomorrow.
are tomorrow at 10.
That's right. Thursday.
Gold medal game tomorrow.
I'm going to watch both.
Okay.
I'm in.
Look at you.
My youngest is
Look,
sick.
you didn't miss much over the weekend. They blew everybody out. Not a lot of intrigue. Men and women, dominant games. Now is when things start to get fun.
I've seen. I said it yesterday. I've seen a little bit more of the women than the men. It's bad. It's been bad timing for me. Like when the men are on, I'm golfing, and you guys are like,
what's going on?
why'd you give up that goal?
Having it here.
And then I check the score, 6-2, and I'm like, well, there's nothing to worry about there.
It
is
ended up
there?
being okay. It
Um,
was 2-1 for a while though,
Yeah,
and then
I
they,
know.
goal. Okay, we're all right. Don't worry. We're okay.
The problem with the Olympics is not having a proper gauge of the countries that we go against and like whether they should be good or bad. And this has happened twice. So the first one I'll reference is the one you speak of.
Yes.
Denmark.
Yes.
They were losing 2-1 to Denmark forever. And it was like, I just kept saying to myself, seeing the score out on a golf course, is Denmark supposed to be good? I don't know any Denmark players.
Well, Oliver Bjorkstrand, of course, former Portland Winterhawk.
There you go.
I mean, let's go.
There's more
What's energy?
NHL players on the Denmark squad than you would think.
Well, but see, this is the thing. Then I would think, I assumed they had NHL players, but I'm
Sure,
like, is
but
Denmark
to what
good?
level?
Yeah. Right.
Are they as good as us? Are they as good as Canada?
And then I'm watching the very first game of this stuff, and it's Slovakia and Finland.
Yes, we live bet that game, and it backfired on us.
Well, I was told by a good source that live bet Finland,
Yes.
so I jumped on and I got my ass whooped.
Slovakia has become the story of the tournament.
Yes.
They dominated Germany this morning.
So here's the funny part. Later on, back into the show, Danny Moraine walks in and goes, yeah, Slovakia handling their business as expected. And Dirk goes, this is not expected.
They were
Finland
a
was a big
massive,
favorite.
massive underdog
the
in that
third
game.
favorite
Yeah.
at the whole damn
And he goes,
thing.
Slovakia's a wagon. And Dirk's like, what?
No, they're not. What are you talking about?
And then Danny kind of gets quiet. And then Dirk's like, they're not that good. They're not even top 3 odds.
No, and here they are.
And Danny just went, all right, I'll see you later. And he just kind of walked out of the studio.
Well, where Danny was right. They keep winning. Evidently, they are a wagon.
Your boy Slavkovsky.
Slavkovsky,
He's
yeah.
having a hell of a
right.
run right now.
Well, but the point is, like, he was accidentally right.
Sure.
He didn't know because
No.
he just, I think you hear these country names.
You
If
just
you would have
assume,
said,
they're
Sprague,
good, yeah.
is Slovakia good at hockey?
Some
I'd
sort
go,
of Eastern European country.
Yeah.
They have to be good, right?
Sergei
That's
Fedorov,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
They're Russia adjacent. They got
Right.
to be dominant at that sport.
If you're
they're
Russia
in the same
adjacent.
neighborhood,
Right.
you know.
They're brothers, I think.
Hockey adjacent to Russia. They got to be pretty solid at this sport.
I have no idea what
Yeah.
countries are truly.
I don't blame you. We have no idea
No.
what we're watching. I turn it on. I don't know what the hell's happening.
Quarterfinals today for the men.
Yes.
And who are we facing?
We are
Sweden.
playing Sweden today at
And
12:10.
Sweden's good, right?
Sweden's all NHL players.
That's right.
And
Sweden's loaded.
Hot NHL
Sweden not
players.
winning their group was a bit of an upset.
yes.
So we have a lot of upsets going on in men's hockey.
A little bit, yes.
Women's hockey, it's as expected, right?
As expected, nobody
Probably
else had a
didn't
chance.
expect to face Sweden in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
But in Olympic tournament play, the U.S. hasn't beaten Sweden since 1960.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So today's a big game.
But, like, I watched some of the half-pipe stuff. South Korea.
Yeah.
They're dominant at half.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know that South
Them
Korea is
and-
No,
good at
you're not supposed to
snowboarding?
know any of this. We don't know what the hell's that. That's the beauty of the Olympics, is you turn it on because it's a dead time. There's nothing else going
But
on
don't
right
the Winter
now.
Olympics, aren't they a little harder to figure out? Like the Summer
Yes.
Olympics.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Like,
You
you
know.
know where the sprinters are from. There's like 2 countries that have a chance to win
In the
100
Summer Olympics,
meters.
you say track and field fastest
Yes.
runner. America and Jamaica.
Yes, long distance runner, we all know.
Right.
Right? There's like, we know the
Yeah.
neighborhood that you're coming from.
Right.
Kenya and Ethiopia.
That's
Right.
right.
That's where
You're
they're
going to
coming
win
from.
the long distance things.
Yes.
Anything else? That's about all I know, though. Other than basketball, I can't really
We
give
know
you
where the
much
basketball
else.
nations are. We know where the soccer playing nations are.
Yeah, that's true.
Is soccer in the Olympics?
Yeah.
It is.
Wait, has it always been the Olympics?
Why do we do that and the World Cup?
Yeah,
The
it's
men
been-
do
anybody-
it differently. So for the women,
Does anybody care
it's
about
the-
winning a gold medal in soccer?
Huh?
Yeah,
'Cause
World Cup all day.
World Cup would blow it out of the water.
That's why they changed it. So it is under 23 rosters
Oh, so they're going non.
with you get 2 exceptions.
That's
Okay.
weak.
Yeah, that's.
Put the pros in.
Why just
The women,
There's no
the
need
women's
for it.
is
You have
the
the World
regular
Cup.
women's full-blown national team,
But-
your
but
top
Dirk's
flight.
right.
your best
We already have
players.
the World Cup.
The
What do
World
you
Cup
care
is
about
the
soccer
Olympics.
and
It's
the
the biggest
Olympics?
international
Yeah.
competition that the Olympics doesn't.
I don't
even-
know what to tell you.
You want
Come
a
close
real
to it.
challenge? You want to get me interested in soccer?
Yeah.
Get the best 10-year-olds from every country.
Ooh, go
and
under
put
15.
the peewees out there.
Let them win a gold medal. Have it just be the junior competition. Actually, I'd be more inclined to watch that than I would just random under 20s.
I don't know the 18-year-old soccer
I want
players.
I want sub 10. You got single digit age groups, and those are the people competing for gold medals.
Now, if you did 8-year-old tackle football in the Olympics
We
with
would
all
dominate.
the country, would we dominate?
I think we would dominate.
Snoop Dogg, your head coach.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg would definitely be the head coach if
Yeah.
he's not commentating on the game.
He
yeah.
absolutely
Oh,
he
he'd do
absolutely
both.
would.
Yeah.
Put a headset on him to call the plays and to commentate
Well-
on what's happening on the field.
Patrick asked me yesterday after the show. He's like, "Not a big Olympics guy." And I'm like, "Not
What's
really,
your deal, bro?
not really. It's
Yeah.
kind of hockey and keep an eye on stuff, and then summer stuff. Even for me is like the 100-meter basketball. That's kind of it. Unless there's a Michael Phelps situation. It's
Well,
like
the
yeah, there's a
summer,
big
the
swimmer you're
summer's
watching.
tough
Right.
because there's so many sports.
right.
And
Well,
it
Danny's
goes,
like
it goes
the
a
throwing
little
events.
longer.
I'm like, I don't even
but-
know when they air the throwing events.
He threw it far.
No, you got track and field.
Spear went far.
You got swimming is a big deal in the Summer
Yeah.
Olympics. You have the gymnastics is a big deal in the Summer Olympics.
I've seen some people try and push for basketball to be included in the Winter Olympics because it makes more sense seasonally and doing what the NHL does.
I don't like that.
I don't either, but
NBA is not going to stop.
They're not
going
going to stop the season for the Olympics.
no.
They'd
But
be like, piss off.
it also wears on guys, though, when they go because you're essentially ending your season
Yeah.
and then you go play basketball for 2 more
Yeah.
months. And then when does the Summer Olympics wrap up? Usually
August.
August.
Usually in August.
And
yeah.
then when do you report for training camp in the
September.
NBA?
Late
September. And so
September, yeah.
you're essentially eating the entire. So that was the argument I saw.
That's fair.
That was pro, and it's also a winter. Like you're playing basketball now, it's a winter sport, and so that was the angle. But the NBA will never be willing to lose the
No,
money.
the
that goes
NHL
with
has
it.
to go through 87 hoops with the Players Association and everything else to get them to do it.
And shut down for a month, man.
I mean, granted, it is once every 4 years.
Do
so
you
it's
guys?
not every year?
I know
but-
the ratings. I don't know if they've been good or bad, but I've seen some of the numbers they've had for the Winter Olympics, and while they do get a lot of eyeballs, are people passionately watching, or is
No.
it just something that's on casually following?
I think it's absolutely casual watching. I think it's like Hard Knocks when they show you the people that are hey, this guy's probably not going to make the team. Here's his backstory.
They make
Here's
you
his
like
family.
him, and
I think
yeah.
the Olympics is a lot of that. They give you a lot of the filler stories, and you're like, oh, look what this person went through. You know nothing about these athletes.
Well,
You know
and I
nothing
don't
about these
know-
competitors.
because we're fortunate. We're up due to the time. I always wonder about the big time difference Olympics when they're not kind of close to.
well, at night they get ruined because they're 9 hours ahead, so people will
Yeah.
see the results
yeah,
before it
so,
airs.
But it's all on what's running on KGW on NBC is all kind of cut, edited, prepackaged with the backstories there
Right.
spliced in, and that's usually the big rated stuff because that gets the fringe sports fan
Hmm.
who's not just diehard into competition. For
That's
the
the
sake of
Olympic sports
competition.
viewer, yeah.
And that's what they do. So I have no idea what those ratings are. I love the fact that now, that is one of the nice things with the streaming service. If you want to go watch a sport and you know when it is,
You
it's
can watch
on the
whatever you
Peacock,
want.
Yeah.
let me go find it.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah, I think the numbers are always good for the Olympics, but I think it's very casual viewing. At least that's how I watch it. Like, I had stuff on last
Is your
night.
friend group chat going up? Because you have a lot of sports friends.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking the other day about what's the most entertaining sport to watch in the Winter Olympics, and then double dude luge was the winner in the group chat. The two guys laying on top of each other. I, of course, voted for men's hockey because that's the one that I'm most interested in and I'm watching closely. But I have it on in background noise. Like, what else was on last night outside of college hoops? The NBA's off for the All-Star game or the All-Star week. NHL's obviously not playing right now.
Yeah.
So I turned on a couple of, like, North Carolina was getting killed, and then the Michigan game wrapped up, and I'm like, all right, there's nothing else on TV. I don't want to watch my basketball team. So what did I watch? I watched Italy versus USA curling because it was on NBC in 4K.
Yeah, so I did the YouTube thing, and it gave me the 4-screen option, and I chose the basketball one even.
Just say something.
UCLA.
Even with 4 screens, the Olympics didn't make one of the 4.
It was all 4 college hoops. It was the Iowa-Nebraska game. It was Michigan State UCLA, which was a blowout. It was Wisconsin and somebody.
Yeah, they were playing Iowa. That's right.
No, Iowa was playing Nebraska. I just told you that.
Not Purdue. No, Purdue was playing.
Purdue was Michigan.
Yeah.
Wisconsin played last night.
It was Wisconsin and what's its nuts.
I watched like 5 minutes of that game and I can't even tell you.
But I had 4 college games. I just see the logo and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to see the figure skating. I don't understand how the scoring system works.
I don't think they understand how the scoring system works either because I continue to get headlines and updates that there's controversial scoring rulings.
Well, the judges, it's always biased. It's like this judge actually has a tie to that skater from years ago. And I'm like, well, why is he a judge?
They're from this country, and this country happened to win the gold, and they gave him a 10 out of 10.
It's ridiculous.
Cheating bastards.
So
Wisconsin lost to Ohio State.
Ohio State, that's who it was.
That's right, the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of my point is, like, not that – I think a lot of people are super into it.
Yeah.
It's never really – the Winter Olympics has never captivated me.
I don't blame you. It's all right. I'm right there with you.
I got a lot of grief for this, by the way, because when I interned in Seattle, you know what Olympics was going on? It was the Vancouver one with Canada and
right
USA.
up the road, yeah.
And it went to that gold medal game.
It was one of the best hockey games I've ever watched, 3-2. Crosby scored the game winner.
Yeah. And it came in. And one of the update guys was like, hey, Sprague, what'd you get? I gave us that.
Yeah, you went to that game.
And I was like, I saw Crosby had the winner. He's like, is that it? I was like, yeah.
That's all I got.
Like, not passionate about it? And I was like, yeah.
I don't really know what's happening.
Went on air, of course, and trashed me for about 12 minutes.
Look at this idiot intern, doesn't even understand.
Is he even patriotic? Are you allowed to vote in this country?
We haven't won a gold medal since Do You Believe in Miracles?
I'm sorry, I don't know this stuff. I didn't grow up around any winter sports at all. Like, at all. Not around any of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm largely in line with you. When hockey went away, like the professional players went away from the Winter Olympics, I want to say the last few Olympics I've watched 10 minutes total of Winter Olympics.
Like, where was the last Winter Olympics? I couldn't tell you for $1 million.
It wasn't in Russia. That was like 2014 was Russia.
Sochi?
Remember? That was Sochi.
Right.
Because I know that was the last time the NHL players played in the Olympics.
Was 2018 was in Korea, I want to say? Or am I?
All right, but there was one after that.
Yeah, 2020.
It was literally the last one. This is the college basketball thing. You can't name the last champion.
No, you have no idea.
So I think you not telling me where it was.
No idea.
You're watching and following, but
Yeah.
I think you're kind of proving my point here. It was in China?
China. The
was it in
last
Japan?
Winter Olympics.
Japan, okay.
You ready for this?
Because it was delayed
that's
from
coming up.
COVID, wasn't it?
So last Winter Olympics in 2022 was Beijing.
Oh, okay. The winter, and then
How about that in China?
Tokyo Summer Olympics got
Tokyo
That
Summer
was the
Olympics was
delay.
2020.
Yeah, that was
Right.
the
The Paris Olympics was the last Summer Olympics,
Yep.
and then the Winter Olympics before that was South Korea.
You see Colin Jost do a 2-man bobsled for NBC?
No,
Yeah.
how did they do?
Did you see that? So he did it, and he goes through it, and they're filming him, right?
Yeah.
The drone's
Boom, boom,
following.
boom, boom.
And he's like, I felt like my body was falling apart. I don't know how my back didn't fall out of my body. He's like, it's the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm not doing that.
If
I don't
you
care
had a
what network.
professional-
No, I'm not doing it.
You
I'm
wouldn't
not,
do it?
No, I'm not going on a bobsled, dude. I don't like going that fast, man.
If I'm worth multiple,
I don't have a need for speed.
If I have multiple millions of dollars and my wife is Scarlett Johansson, I'm not trying that.
No. You know how much I have to lose? I go home to Scarlett Johansson every night. I'm a host on Saturday Night Live. Are you kidding me? No, dude, I'm not risking my life for this.
Oh, man. All right, well, we got a lot to get to today. We have 2 guests on the show.
We do.
Dane Brugler of The Beast, The Athletic, the draft pundit himself. He's going to join us at 7:30 today.
Broke a little bit of news yesterday.
He did. And then at 9 a.m., we're going to have Patty Football.
Patty Football.
Patty Football is going to join us live. Who's Patty Football? I think you know him, but we've given him a new nickname. Patty Football is here to stay. He'll be on at 9 a.m. Got Status Story at 9:15. Let's start with an uncomfortable sports story. The brothers or the wives? Next on The Fan. I actually have college basketball on my show sheet today.
Is my team included?
They are. Yeah, they are.
That's pretty bad.
So let's start with a story that came out at the back end of our show yesterday. You may have even mentioned it offhand, but we didn't really talk about it. I read the passing Don Van Natta piece after the show.
Yeah, the update was simply at the time that he was out. That was it.
resigning.
And it was like, oh, this is good timing considering we're heading for a lockout.
Yeah, so Tony Clark is the representative for the Players Association, and he resigned yesterday. The Athletic reported that he was resigning. And
Yes.
people were like, whoa, okay.
He was already wrapped up into some
Controversy,
about the use of money and illegally distributing it.
There was a thing he created
over
with
my
DeMar
pay grade.
Smith,
Yeah.
and there was funds transferred, and then there was like he was going to basically give himself a multi-million-dollar bonus for creating
no
it. And
way.
he was already being investigated for being shady with funds.
Yes.
All right, so there's the basis of what was
Yes.
happening. Then it was announced that he's resigning. Well, people were like, okay, not unexpected per se. What's the reason? Well, they did the digging, and they found out the reason was he was caught having an affair with his sister-in-law.
Come again?
He was having an affair with his sister-in-law. And I got in here a little late today. My youngest is sick, and so I was making sure temp was fine, and I get in, and usually me and Dirt don't really talk a whole lot. I'm kind of waking up, thinking about the show. He's like, what's up, and then we get ready, and Dirt goes, you have an affair with your sister, your wife's sister, or your brother's wife? And I'm like,
What's worse?
oh, God, a Tony Clark question at 5:51 a.m.
Should we put that poll question out?
No.
What's worse, to have an affair with your sister's,
Your wife's sister, or your brother's
or
wife.
your brother's wife?
It's easy. It's the worst
the
one
wife's
is the
sister.
brother's wife.
Oh, that's the worst one over the wife's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not. They're neither one of them are good.
No, they're
pretty
both awful. They're both awful.
But if between the two you're making me choose, the worst one is your brother's wife.
Yeah.
Because you're ruining the relationship with your brother. Because either way, you're ruining the relationship with your wife.
I don't think you need me to explain. I think
Your
you
wife-
understand
your
if you
wife-
walk through it.
Well, here's can I throw it out? The reasoning of why one might be worse than the other. Can I give you my theory here?
And by the way, we don't know. I don't think it's been clarified whether
It
was
has not
his
been
wife's
clarified.
sister or his brother's wife.
What sister-in-law was it?
Does he have a brother? We don't know.
We have not quite figured
There's
this
a
out yet.
sister-in-law and
There are
him.
baseball
So-
writers diving into Ancestry.com right now.
I think they need to,
trying
right? We need to know answers on this, Tony Clark. I want to know what the hell was going on here. Either way, you're ruining the relationship with your wife. It is over. Agreed?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
So either way, you're getting a
regardless.
divorce. So the
Yeah.
relationship is gone.
Right.
If you sleep with your wife's sister, at least you still have the relationship with your brother.
Yeah.
If you
That's why
sleep
this is not close.
if you sleep with your brother's wife,
it's over.
your brother's done
Yeah.
and your wife's done.
And maybe
so
your
that's why
parents-
sleeping with your wife's sister is better.
The
We
more
arguing this-
preferable choice
The more preferable choice.
between the two.
Yes.
I mean, not doing it to either would be actually
I mean,
the
that would be
preference.
the ideal option here. But if I'm not presented that option and you're given the choice.
Dude, that's a look. They don't know who's going to take over yet. There's a name I'm forgetting. It's like Brent something is they think is a favorite to be the new.
I'm sure this will go great for the Players Association.
Yeah, I'm
And they
sure.
won't get steamrolled as the owners try and get a salary cap. And we're not heading for a lockout.
Well, they didn't like him anyway. All the reporting was that he was kind of like difficult to deal with. But still, for this story to break, if it comes out yesterday, Jason Swigart is no longer at Odyssey Portland.
What did he do?
You know, and then like the lead story is that he's caught having an affair with his sister-in-law.
I mean, that's the first question
I'm going to
texting
have
him.
to text Swag and
Immediately.
be like, what side?
Who are we talking here?
And I don't think he's going to respond knowing
No.
Jason Swigart, but
No, he was just fired, so he's going through some things at home. He'll get back to you in a couple of weeks, all right? Give him some time.
if you caught me doing this, I'll tell you my only response to your text would be a thumbs up on your text.
Sorry, guys.
What side was it on? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up,
Right.
either or.
Right.
I also, and I don't know if you guys remembered him or how you felt, I hated Tony Clark as a player. I couldn't stand him.
Oh, I like Tony Clark.
You liked Tony Clark
what
as a
teams
player?
did he play on? The Tigers and who else?
Oh, a handful. He bounced around. He was one of
I
those
remember
guys.
him mostly with the Tigers.
I remember
Tigers,
the Tigers.
good chunk at the start of his career. Then he went to the Red Sox for a year,
Yeah, I like Tony Clark.
and then the Mets for a year,
Yep.
and then the Yankees for a year,
Yeah.
and then the Diamondbacks for 3 years. I think that's when I began my hatred of Tony Clark. Because he randomly had a 30 home run season in like 2005. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Then the Padres, and then back to Arizona in 2008 and 2009.
Yeah, I think when he was on the Tigers, I had one of those Sports Illustrated kids magazines, and it was like him, and they were playing on the Tony the Tiger.
It's Tony the Tiger.
He's great
He's
or something, and he
great.
posed with his Tiger uniform. I'm like, hey, the only reason the Tigers are ever in a magazine,
This is it.
they've got a baseball player.
He's also great at sleeping with his sister-in-laws. and losing a lot of money because he's going to lose a lot of money out of this deal.
Well, he's lost his gig, and so now we have to wonder who the players are going to vote on and decide.
His wife is also going to take all of his money because he slept with his sister-in-law. So he's got that going for him. Things are going good for Tony Clark Jr. right now.
I think it's perfectly normal to be sitting here today wondering if it was his brother's wife or his wife's sister.
It's a very valid question because when you say sister-in-law, you're leaving it open to interpretation, and you're not giving us the answers that we demand and that we need.
The other part is you ruin the entire other side of the family. Like if they have a get-together, they don't want to see you at all.
Oh, dude.
And then I don't know how your family handles if it's your brother's wife.
You're not getting together as a family ever again. It's not happening. If you sleep with your brother's wife, the whole thing crumbles. It's all gone.
But the wife's side, that becomes difficult too.
Well, of course it does, but you're already divorced to begin with. So if you
Yeah.
get divorced, when was the last time you saw your in-laws after your divorce, Weigard? Did
that's
you
a
have any
great
relationship
question.
with them after the divorce?
Did you keep in
Yeah,
contact?
because we had a kid.
Sure. Okay. So
So-
grandparents and stuff.
Yeah,
and
like high school and college graduation.
I guess that's a
and
good point.
that
Did you
sort of
like
thing.
each other?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
So it's cordial
we
to the
have
point there
had
was
a
no
cordial,
issues.
amicable post-divorce relationship.
Okay. Because if that's the one thing with the divorce is that you usually lose all of that to begin with. But the fear would be sleeping with your brother's wife because then everything inside your own nuclear family is also
Right.
blown up because you're not getting together for holidays.
Right.
If your brother slept with your wife, like you want nothing to do with him.
I was
Hey, by the way, Thanksgiving, Steve's bringing the mashed potatoes. Oh, hell no, he ain't.
Well, what happens if you get in a relationship with the wife's sister?
Oh, that's
that
even-
becomes more than just an affair.
Yeah, then it's even.
What if then they get married?
It was already over.
Who
now
goes
it's
to
even,
that wedding?
Not the brother.
I think the parents go.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if it's the wife's sister and you fall in love with her.
If it's the wife's sister,
It's the most underrated, weird part of
yeah,
the movie
parents,
Patriot.
The parents would
When
have
Mel
to go.
Gibson hooks up with the wife's sister
Great point.
and she's just with him now and the kids are totally cool with Aunt
At least the
becoming
wife
mom.
was dead, though. Like, at least the wife was gone. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's not weird, but at least the wife was dead.
It'd be bizarre.
He was living by himself, raising his own kids.
But imagine doing that
She
now.
was already in their lives.
Imagine doing that right
I
now.
I know.
It'd be very odd.
Didn't Hunter Biden do this? Wasn't this part of his
Yeah,
thing?
dude, he hooked
slept
up with his brother's
and
wife.
after the brother
ex-wife.
passed away, he got
Yeah.
together with the brother's not
Yes.
ex-wife, but yeah,
Yeah.
R.I.P. God.
Part of the weird part of that family. One of the many.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no thanks at all.
I'm out on all of this.
I think a most nerve-wrecking moment was meeting my wife's parents.
Oh, it's very nerve-wracking when you go through that.
I'm usually not. But going into a house where
the
you're
cultural
like,
differences.
it's the cultural
and the
difference.
divide.
Her dad's out. He's working on a car out of the garage, and he's kind of built. He looks like Bruce Lee. Like he's any given moment, he's got long, nice hair. He's whooped my ass. And he's like barely acknowledging my existence. And then I go in and I think, oh, I'll get the mom. I'm really good with moms. The mom didn't say a word to me. I was
Not a
there for an
peep.
hour and a half.
Not
Didn't
a
even
peep.
look at me. And I'm like, damn, dude.
Didn't even acknowledge you.
And then I'm not knowing this, but I'm like, oh, she brought a white home. There's a cultural disappointment here.
Not another white in the household.
But then I find out her two older sisters also brought whites home. So now
Yeah.
I'm breathing a sigh of relief here. Like,
You're not the only white that's been invited to the party.
maybe we got to warm this up a little bit. And it took a while, but it got warmed.
Did you get any cash in your red envelope this weekend?
I did.
You did? Look
Yeah.
at you.
I got $10.
Look at you on
Yeah.
the come up.
I actually got 3 envelopes.
Hey.
I made like $40.
Look at you. Look,
Wow,
what
there
a
you
what a
go.
growth from last year to this year.
Oh, man.
Nothing to 3 envelopes,
It was
couple
great.
of bucks.
And I broke custom. I did not put 2 hands out for the red envelope. Just put 2. I put 1.
Ooh.
And I didn't do a real proper bow. I more kind of leaned over because the grandma was sitting in a chair.
Was it because they didn't give you any money last year? You said, I'm giving you an S bow. You're not getting a good bow. If you're not giving me $10, I'm not giving you the good stuff.
There's only so much information on air I want to put out.
Okay, just checking.
She does enjoy taking photos with me, though, because I put up like gang signs next to her, and she
No,
has
any
no
clue
idea
what you're doing.
It's like, what are these fingers twisted for?
I don't know.
West Coast, best coast, Granny.
By the way, poll question's up. What's worse, sleeping
Oh,
with your
God.
brother's wife or sleeping with your wife's sister? The poll question
Why did you
is
put that
up. I mean, it's people want to know.
Everybody's gonna find out at some point.
We're going to get the answers, Tony.
All right, let's pivot out of Tony Clark. Gun down his prime by an affair.
Hell of a run, Tony.
Hell of a run.
Hell of a run, man.
All right, let's get this. This is not working at all, and it's not shocking in any way. Next on the Fan.
Now, From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan, preparations continuing for the NFL Combine next week in Indianapolis. For most team executives and top prospects alike, except former Oregon Ducks offensive lineman Isaiah World. According to Dane Brugler of The Athletic, suffered a torn ACL in Oregon's semifinal loss to Indiana, had to have surgery last month, which would explain why he pulled out of the Senior Bowl. He will not participate in Combine drills, but will show up for interviews and medical evaluation. Brugler will join Dirt and Sprague coming up at 7:30 this morning. NFL announcing the 49ers going to be part of 2 international games in 2026. They're already part of the Australia game against the Rams, but it was announced this morning San Francisco serving as the home team for the Mexico City game this season. Oregon Ducks offense came to a grinding halt Tuesday night against Minnesota, held to just 2 of 20 3-point shooting. They fall to the Golden Gophers 61-44 and are now tied for the worst record in the Big Ten with Penn State and Northwestern. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of 80 a.m.
Really good thoughts on the Tony Clark situation. Under the radar one, we forgot to mention, what if he has a sister who has a wife?
We didn't think about that angle. That is a possible scenario here.
It works in all ways. So I saw this from John Rothstein yesterday, because I told you I watched UCLA, Michigan State. I had that on to the end. Mick Cronin ejected his own player for a bad foul.
Yeah, that was quite the scene.
I want to get to Mick Cronin. What a character.
He's an angry elf.
John Rothstein tweeted, the 4 Big Ten teams from the West Coast, that would be Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC, are a combined 6-19 in Big Ten games this season outside the Pacific time zone. None of the 4 will ever win a Big Ten regular season title.
What's the difference for what's the record of teams when they go to the 4 West Coast schools? I'd be really curious to see what those numbers are.
I don't feel like it's awful.
I don't either.
Don't you feel like it's not as
my
bad
team
as this?
sucks, and they got their ass whooped by Minnesota last night. They lost 10 in a row.
That's
so
2 time zones over.
We've piled up a lot of L's both at home and on the road this year.
Yeah.
I'm just curious in the last 2 years, like, what's the rolling average of winning percentage? Because if you're telling me the difficulty, and I know the counter argument would be, well, you're traveling more because they have more schools that are around them in their region, so it's not quite as significant. But you also have a lot of teams that are coming out to the West Coast for long stretches or weekends and playing multiple games, and it doesn't seem to be the struggle that it is for the teams West going
Well, I don't
east.
know how it's set up, but I would assume if teams are coming out to play, if they have both UCLA and USC, it's one trip. You're basically staying in LA.
That's
it's
true.
Not,
That's true for those two. And if you go Oregon, Washington, it's not that long of a trip to go from Eugene
you can
to Seattle.
bus if you want.
Nah,
you don't have to
but yeah.
fly. I mean, if you're flying charter, then it's no big deal.
I mean, in retrospect, we should have known. They should have just been Big Ten for football only and kept everything that was intact to make everything easier.
That was the only reason they made the move. It was for football.
The counter to this, the first comment on it, is travel and conference are not a problem. UCLA women and USC women dominate.
Yeah, so it's not an issue for them.
Which is a good point.
And my team, again, sucks at home and on the road, so I don't think it's a travel issue. That's a whole nother conversation that we could have today about what the hell's going on in Eugene right now and how it's continuing to get uglier. But, yeah, it's funny because I saw somebody, jokingly say really the only program that has success since the split and the teams going to the Big Ten, the only one that has moved on is Oregon football, which I guess in some ways is true, but also...
Are we talking about men and women?
If we're talking men and women, it's not true because there's the basketball teams that you just referenced.
Been really good, yeah.
And look, I know my basketball team's terrible this year. They went to the tournament and made it to the second round last year.
Back-to-back years of second round,
right?
Yeah.
So they won a tournament game. They were in the dance. The baseball team hasn't been to Omaha, and we love joking about that when time comes, but they're in a super regional seemingly every year. Now they can't get over the hump and get to the World Series, but it's not like the program is cratered. I don't know enough about college baseball to tell you what's going on with all the Arizona schools and the non football, basketball sports, but Arizona's also spent time as the number 1 team in the country this year. So this idea that Oregon football is the only thing that's had success is just not true.
Well, it's more just to me about it's not that college basketball doesn't matter. We from time to time talk about how it's it's the 8th game of the season. Cool. Wake me up in March. So we can joke about that. But
now's the time when you get woken up. Football's done. There's a break and everything else. What are we watching? Olympics and college basketball is all you got.
Well, my Beavs chose to be independent and not be in some makeshift conference
baseball.
like every other sport. And by the way, shout out Coin CW. They're going to be airing most of their games this year.
28 games.
Yeah.
That's an awesome announcement for fans.
Well, it's really good. Oregon State gets to have a good schedule. And they get all of their games accessible for fans.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
And I wonder if more ADs have any regret of not joining the Big Ten because of the money, but it's more like, could they have found a way to balance this where they said, basketball, this is not as important. Like, obviously, having UCLA at Michigan State on paper is a good situation to have.
Historically speaking, 2 blue bloods, yeah.
But, Oregon, Minnesota does nothing for any executive at any network.
For an 8 p.m. tip-off in front of 14 people.
Well, what would people locally care more about? Oregon, Minnesota, and Eugene, or Oregon State at Oregon? I'm just giving an example here with local
If you're
teams.
still in the same conference, right, it means a lot more.
So, again, I don't know if I go as far as saying they'll never win a Big Ten regular season title, but how many regular season titles has Dana Altman won in the Pac-12 before they moved?
That's a good question, man.
I know he's won Pac-12 titles in the conference tournament, but how many regular
times have they been a
I want to say, I don't know if they've ever been a 1 seed. The year they went to the Final Four, I think they were a 2 seed. I want to say he won 1 or 2, so he won it. Let's see, that's Creighton years. Oregon years, they won it in 15-16. The year he first went to the Elite Eight. They tied for first the next year. That
Okay.
was the year they went to the Final Four, so they didn't outright win it. And then they won back-to-back Pac-12 regular season titles in 1920 and 2021.
So he only in the Pac-12
so
era, he
three
only
and a
did it
half,
twice.
3.5-ish. 3 outright, 1 tied.
Oh, okay.
In
3
the
outright.
regular season. That's not counting conference tournaments.
Okay. And I don't know if I'd say they'll never win.
But also the
understand.
conference as a whole is a significantly harder basketball
Well, there's
conference.
way more teams, and then you got
Yes.
Michigan now, and obviously you have Michigan State, and you got to deal with all of these programs that are
When you look at the historic,
really well coached.
The historic Pac-12, like
It's not like it was
Arizona was always good.
Yeah.
UCLA was up. They had years where they'd be good, and then
Peak,
years where
yeah,
they were just
right.
horrendous.
USC was never really a
USC's
threat.
never been anything. Colorado would have moments of being feisty, but they were never a dominant program.
outside of like Nate Robinson, UW, not really. much
Washington's
to
been
speak of.
irrelevant in basketball forever.
Yeah.
Since Isaiah Thomas, I would argue they've been irrelevant. When he hit the game winner in the Pac-12 tournament championship
They had
game.
the number 1 pick, and nobody watched those games because they were like
they
last
were
place.
dog-ass. So that was the other part of it. Like it's not just the travel. It's just easier to win the conference.
Every once in a
It's-
while, Stanford would rise up and they'd have a great recruiting
Sure, they'd
class.
be okay.
Yeah, but post Lopez
But year in
brothers,
and year
there was
out?
like 1 or 2 of those years.
Not a
Oregon
ton.
State was never good.
No, yeah, the year you went to the Elite Eight, but Oregon State wasn't that good that year.
They were last.
snuck
They
in.
were like last in the conference and got on a heater.
They won the conference title and snuck
Pilots
in and
beat
then got
them
hot.
that year down
Yeah,
there.
they did.
We fired Wayne Tinkle
We
early in the
did.
season, and then he ended up in the
And they
Elite
went
Eight.
to the Elite Eight,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
but they weren't a conference title contender, and so it's almost the opposite of baseball, where Oregon is probably going to win the. I mean, they should. I know they didn't last year. They'll probably win a conference title in baseball every year.
Let me ask
when
this.
they couldn't do that in the Pac-12, but now in basketball, they're not going to win a Big Ten title.
Let me ask this, because I told Swag I do want to get like a Ryan Clark on. I want to talk about Oregon's basketball team this week. I know they've had injuries, devastating injuries.
Yes.
To be this bad, I don't think anybody had on their bingo card.
I mean, we're
There's something interesting going on down there this year.
We're entering into the moment of having a very serious conversation of
Is he?
what are we going to do here?
Well, because it's odd, because you just mentioned, and I had to ask Swag this, I forgot how far they got last year.
Yeah, second round of the tournament.
Because if you're in the first or second round and you're out, I will probably forget it. I'll give you a benefit when you're Altman and say they made it right, but I'm asking still a question.
Yeah, they damn near beat Arizona. They had a Caleb Love game, and that's how they got knocked out in the round of 32. It was super high scoring, if I remember, and I think Caleb Love lit them up.
Well, our fans
Year before was the Creighton game. Remember, it was like a double or triple overtime game against Creighton in the second round.
are
that was
fans
classic.
more or less interested on the basketball front in the Big Ten than they were when they were in the Pac-12? Not football is obviously different. Are
Yeah.
fans more or less interested with the basketball move of the Big Ten?
I'm curious because
I'd argue they're less interested
I think
they're
it's a
less,
complicated
even
question,
though-
though.
because there's no history.
No, there's no history, but I think it's a
No.
complicated question because I think the majority of Oregon basketball fans are like me, where it's not a passionate, diehard fandom where you're following day in and day out what's happening. It's more of a general, you're rooting for the university, and when there's something interesting, you will root for them. Like if Oregon was good this year, we would be passionate. But Oregon sucks.
what was I'd have to go back and look. I
So
mean,
conference has nothing to do with it.
To me, it's just the success of the team. Like, I don't think it's maybe you tell me there's more nostalgia there at play, but if they're this bad in the Pac-12, which if they were, like, I wouldn't be watching. They had bad years with Dana Altman. They had a year where they went to the NIT after the Final Four run. Like, I wasn't watching games.
Yeah,
I
this
wasn't
is even
glued to
worse
it.
than that, though. This
Oh,
is
I'm not
like
saying it's
no
bad.
other conference, or not conference, but
I mean, he's won 20 games every year he's been at Oregon. He's never had a year where he's won less than 20
How many do
games.
they have right now?
They're 8-13. He ain't getting there.
Oh yeah, he's well
There's
short of that.
no chance in hell. They
Clark
got-
said they have Northwestern might be their only winnable game the rest of the year.
They essentially have to win out to get to 20 games. I think they only have 7 or 8 left. So you're
That's
running
not
out.
they will
Yeah,
be
you know.
playing on the opening day of the Big Ten.
Probably be a one and done too. They're in the bottom 3.
I mean, I'd be honest, they shouldn't even be there. Why are we even there?
I know. Why do we have
It's
every
ridic-
team involved?
What is this
It's so
participation
stupid.
trophy? Ridiculous. Like, if Oregon is 1-9, I think, in conference. Is it worse than that now? 1-10. I don't know what the hell they are
They
in
are
conference play.
2-13. They are tied with Northwestern and Penn State for the worst conference record.
It's an 18-team conference, correct?
18
Yes.
teams.
Why don't they just do the top 12 and then do a conference tournament? Why
They
are we
should.
doing?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Why are those 6
because the
teams?
Big Ten
in?
Network wants content.
They should not be there.
I'd rather watch a talking head show than watch those games.
I would rather watch
Oregon,
Casey
Penn State.
Jacobson preview the rest of the Big Ten tournament than watch my team
So
play
yeah, so
Penn
the
State
bottom
again.
4 seeds square off on day 1.
We would be facing Northwestern right now in a vicious cockfight round 1. Bring it on, Wildcats.
Let's get to one Big Ten team because their coach, he's angry. Although, even when they win, he's angry. Why is he so angry? Let's talk about him next on The Fan.
AM.
There's cheating going on in the National Football League. We need to talk about that today. I will not have this. It's ridiculous.
The hell did you guys do, man?
What do you mean?
It's a whole nother story.
So we're talking about the Big Ten. I put a poll question. Are you more, less, or the same amount of interested in Oregon men's basketball in the Big Ten? You can vote at Dirt and Sprague.
Like, it didn't impact my viewership of it at all last year. In fact, there were games where you're like, hey, this is kind of cool. So-and-so's in town, or you're playing Indiana at home, or this year they played at Indiana. I'm a very front-running basketball
Michigan
fan.
State came to Matt Knight this year.
They did?
Yeah.
But, and I understand why that's exciting. They're obviously great programs. Michigan might win the title this year, but
Very well
to me, it's more about having emotional stakes involved helps too.
Yeah.
And even if some programs haven't been great, there's a little bit of a history with almost all the former Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, they've played against them. There's been moments or rivalry moments or game-winning shots.
Well, it's not been great, as we mentioned, for the West Coast teams this year. They're 6-19 in Big Ten play. And one of those teams that started out great that's now kind of fallen off a little bit here.
Fizzling.
UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA, come on down, blown out again by Michigan State. Tom Izzo hands Mick Cronin his dinner tab and says, thanks for meeting up, buddy. Sorry you came all the way to East Lansing, got your ass whooped. It's their first time losing back-to-back games by 20-plus points since 1944-45.
Holy shnikes.
So we got some history going on here with UCLA, and it's not going well. Mick Cronin was asked because the crowd was going after UCLA. By the way, he ejected his own player in this game.
Yeah, I did not know the backstory that kid used to play at Michigan State. I did not know that. So,
well, here he is.
Spartan.
The kid commits a awful foul, and Mick Cronin ejects him in the game, and Mick Cronin asked about it after.
You know, true toughness is in how you compete and how you go to work every day. Steve's a good kid. He made a bad decision. If you want to be a tough guy, you need to do it during the game, for a block out, for a rebound. So I was thoroughly disappointed. Guy was defenseless in the air. I know Steve was trying to block the shot, but the game's a 25-point game. You don't do that. So. And
then a reporter asked him about the crowd chanting something at UCLA's player, and Mick Cronin didn't like that question.
What was your thought to the student section chanting Booker's name?
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant overall the way that
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
You should take it.
the preparation of the...
Do you really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't
student
think you care about the other
Are you
teams.
raising your voice at me?
No, I'm just...
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
I'm not raising
Come on. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody. This is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
SAWFT. You are soft. Mick Cronin is the worst.
God, no matter what he does.
Are you
I don't know
raising
if
your
I've ever
voice at
seen. They had the year where when did he? Was it the Gonzaga year that they made it to the Final Four with Jaime Jaquez and that team? That was their longest run. Like, even that entire time, he was miserable when they were winning tournament games. The only time you ever saw him be sentimental and not angry was when they were showing his dad in the stands and he was talking about his dad. That was it. Outside of that, he just yells. They win games, he yells. They lose games, he yells. He's just constantly pissed off.
Why?
Get this guy on a beach for a week. Calm down.
Too tight. I think that vest is just cutting off.
Like, you don't have to be
$7 million plus
such
a year.
bitch.
What are you so angry about?
God.
Oh, you lost a basketball game. How will you ever recover?
I mean, that's not the worst question ever. The kid came from Michigan State. He committed a hard foul. He got ejected. They're chanting something like, hey, what did you think
can
of
just
that?
say you don't care. You don't have to
Don't
go,
matter.
that's the worst question I've ever been
And
asked.
then the guy did not raise his voice at you. He was simply asking a follow-up question to try and get a comment out of you, and then to turn that around on him? What are we doing here, man?
I don't know if I'd have to power rank the coaches in that sport I dislike the most. He's definitely in the conversation.
He is on the Mount Rushmore.
Every time I see a Mick Cronin thing, I have no idea what UCLA's record. It could be the best record in hoops. It could be one of the worst. I couldn't tell because it's the same Mick Cronin every time. At least he's consistent.
Yes.
At least he's like always angry and never enjoying life.
I'm trying to think of other coaches that I even come close to hating to that level.
Hurley's in this for a lot of people.
Yeah, he's a red ass, but at least he wins. At least he's got two championships.
He lets you know that he's not winning.
He does.
He's got a real sore loser vibe to him.
The Florida coach seems like an absolute scumbag, and they just totally swept that under the rug. Nothing to see here. I've been exonerated. Sure you have.
Yeah, but this is about your demeanor and how your attitude is, and I just never happy.
No.
Every time Mick Cronin talks, yeah, it's 2-game winning streak, but we have to travel the most miles.
Every time it's a complaint, even when they win a game.
Always complaining.
I've never seen a coach throw a player out of the game, too, in the middle of a game. I've never really seen that before.
I'm sure it's happened
The Antonio
before.
Brown thing was the first thing that came to my mind when he's doing jumping jacks, running off the field without a shirt on. Singletary with Davis. So you got two of them in the NFL.
Kerr sent Draymond to the
he
showers
did.
the other
That's
game.
right.
He did.
That's right. Didn't he come back out?
He apologized later. No.
He left for the game. I couldn't
left,
remember if he
yeah.
came back, if it was like, go take a breather.
He was like, I was going to say something, and Kerr knew it, so he ejected me.
Just get the hell out of here.
It doesn't happen often, but there's examples of it.
I mean, it's a kid that commits a hard foul in a game. Just sit. You want to teach him a lesson, just sit him down. There was 3 minutes left in the game? They were down by 26?
Look, I have no problem with a coach
Sit him
actually
down.
ejecting a player and say, we're not going to be that way.
Yeah.
And then talking to him and saying, hey, this is why I did this.
Right.
It's more like the reporter thing. It's just, you're never
You're the
happy.
enemy. The reporter's the enemy.
He's
Here.
always the enemy.
They're the problem.
They
People asking
are.
questions covering your team, trying to give access to the fans. They're the issue.
It's utterly ridiculous.
That's who we take our anger out on.
Loaded second hour of the program. We're going to have Dane Brugler of The Athletic on. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, NFL's descending upon Indianapolis next week for the Combine. However, Dane Brugler of The Athletic reporting that former Oregon Ducks offensive lineman Isaiah World will not be participating in Combine drills. Revealed that he suffered a torn ACL in Oregon's semifinal loss to Indiana, had that surgery last month, which explained why he had to pull out of the Senior Bowl. Brugler going to join Dirt and Sprague coming up at 7:30. NFL announcing the 49ers will be part of 2 international games in 2026. They were already part of the Australia game, taking on the Rams. This morning announced they will serve as the home team for the Mexico City game this coming season. Quarterfinal games in the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament are coming up today. The United States will face Sweden at 12:10. That'll be on the USA Network. Canada will take on Czechia at 7:40. Also at the Olympics this morning, American women's slalom specialist Michaela Schifrin ended an 8-year Olympic drought, winning gold in the women's slalom. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the fan. Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 2. Durden Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Happy hump day, everybody. I had a wild story text to me during the break. And it was basically in relation to the Tony Clark getting caught with his sister-in-law. We don't know if it was his brother's wife or his wife's sister.
We have a story of this actually happening to somebody that they know.
The story I got was basically husband at home a lot, wife working a ton, hooking up with the sister.
The wife's sister.
And then the wife wanting a save-the-marriage pregnancy.
Yes, gotta have a baby, gotta have a baby.
The wife and the sister both got pregnant. We got sister cousins.
It's a fun Thanksgiving dinner. What do you do on Christmas?
Who do you give thanks to?
Both of them?
Well,
which one first, though? It's a tough call.
They call each other sister?
Clearly the passion is there for the wife's sister more than the wife.
Do they have to introduce themselves to avoid awkwardness as cousin or sister? What is easier
I think you teach them from a very young age that they are cousins, and you don't even acknowledge the sister fact of it.
You ignore it?
I think you try to ignore it
like
the
you
best
find out
you
when the
possibly
dad's
can.
dead?
Yes, you find
like, wait,
when
my cousin's my sister?
When you're 18, I will hand you an
That's a show
envelope
on the TLC network.
give you the background knowledge of how this all happened.
Dude, that's like the episode of The Simpsons when Marge finds out her sister's her mom.
Yeah.
And her other sister's her mom's mom.
Imagine if they go to the same school. You can't have middle school age kids knowing this level of information about you. That cannot be public knowledge.
That's tough.
This is under seal until you're an adult.
Yeah, dude, it's Area 51 for me. It's
this
on
is a
lockdown. They are cousins.
Secret code, your cousins.
Now, what if they shared a lot of similarities?
They happen to look alike, you know? DNA.
Your mom and
the
her
same
sister.
tree.
What do you want there?
Right.
That's tough.
You're adjacent, you know?
Yeah, you are adjacent. That you are. We have a loaded second hour of the program.
Yes, we do.
It's a Statter Story Wednesday, so we'll get to that coming up in the final hour of the program. Patty Football is going to be on at 9 a.m. We're excited to talk with Patty Football, introduce him to your lives, as he may be on from time to time throughout the season.
Yeah, why not?
But we start the second hour. Look, we have Dane Brugler on at 7:30. I was going to do a Blazer thing here, and I think I'm going to hold that for tomorrow.
Okay, we got this weird, it's like the week before the Super Bowl where they don't start again until Friday. So it's like we could do a second half preview, but then tomorrow you could do a second half preview, and Friday you could do a second half preview.
It's not so much a preview. It's a little bit of like a second half adjacent thing. It's more an observation that's like, if you're a Blazer fan, I think it's a little concerning.
Oh.
Or you don't care, and it doesn't matter because it's not important. I don't know. We'll get to it. I'll try to explain it better than that. But
tickle me intrigued.
It's not just a second half preview. But we start the second hour. I was reading an article yesterday on The Athletic, doing a little college football reading.
Look at you.
Come on.
What else?
Look, I might not be spring football Sprague, but I am a sicko for the sport. We love the sport.
Yeah, I might go to the spring game this year.
Take Teddy ball game?
Yeah, dude, it's a perfect spot for a kid. If we leave early, who the hell cares? You're not missing anything. I'll DVR it and watch it when I get home.
He'd probably be excited to hand them the can of beans.
Dude, he
to
take
get
down
in.
a can. He can see the duck. Let him run around.
There you go.
Weather dependent. If it's raining, I'm not going to go. But if it's a decent day at the end of April, I'll be down there. Why not?
Well, the article was basically, what do coaches in the sport, what are their takeaways of Kurt Signetti? And I'm like, okay, we get the title winners. The Seahawks are going to go through this. It's going to be an article similar to the Seahawks once football season, the NFL comes back in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I click it and I read it. And it's a lot of coaches anonymously, group of 6 and group of 4, that are giving their thoughts. And one of the biggest takeaways is experience matters, which, no shocking development. We all noted that as it was going on. And then they won it. And you're like, hey, probably nice to have 5th and 6th-year guys on your roster. But it's not just that. They've got a lot of guys with 3rd-year experience and 4th-year experience, which that's where a lot of Oregon-like programs are going to find themselves next year. And so it was more like, what are people learning from it? And some of it was one coach I thought had an interesting theory of Cignetti kind of went in one with no expectation because it's Indiana, for God's sakes.
Yeah, no pressure to win.
But part of that isn't just the wins and the losses element. It is there was no expectation, and there might still be no expectation of high school recruiting. And he says a lot of programs in the Power 4 that are real players, he goes, I think they basically get caught in the we have to win the recruiting war battle historically. And it's not that the Jimmies and the Joes and the high school recruiting doesn't matter. It's more his view of how much energy and time you spend on high school recruits to be the 6th best recruiting class or the 5th best recruiting class versus finding guys who love football and knowing that that works for your system. And so I don't know how many titles Cignetti gets, if it's the one, if it's going to be multiple. We don't know that. But those were kind of the 2 big takeaways of the no pressure of having to bend yourself over backwards in high school recruiting the way Oregon, USC, Ohio State, Michigan, these programs have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And having the experience, which is something that's going to really work in Oregon's favor next year in that category.
Yeah, it's interesting with Indiana because they're such a fascinating story. We're still wrapping our heads around them winning a national championship. And I think when you go through articles like this and what can other teams learn from Indiana, it leads me to the biggest question about all of it. And that is, what is Indiana going to be in years to come? Because I think when you have such a shock to the system that Indiana was, it leads you to ask some really hard questions of, is this an outlier, or is this a way that other teams can actually do it? Like, is this a foreseeable pathway for others? Because for as much as they would say, don't take high school recruiting seriously, look at every national champion over the last 15 years prior to Indiana, and where did they recruit? At a top 5 level. Ohio State won it the year before. Where do they recruit every year?
Yep.
Georgia won back-to-back titles. Where do they recruit every year? Michigan won it. Where do they recruit seemingly every year? Like, you go down the list on and on and on. Alabama, every year with Nick Saban, was the number 1 recruiting class in the country every single year, and he spent a lot of time doing it. And then you have this shock to the system with a team that we've never seen win, and then winning in a way that we've never seen with guys that are, not, your 4- and 5-star typical recruits that you need to win a national championship. And I do think it's making everybody look in the mirror and say, can I do it that way? Is that way possible for me? Is that a one-off? Is Indiana going to do this every year with this level of roster? When you look at the age breakdown of Indiana's roster, and you sent the tweet to me yesterday, it's remarkable to remember, like, the average age of the Indiana roster was almost 24 years old.
It's really old in college
That's
football.
Insane, dude. I don't even, I was looking
that probably will never happen again because COVID year's gone, and a lot of these kids are getting declined for like 6 and 7 years.
I was looking through Oregon's roster yesterday because I knew we were going to do this segment today, and I legitimately don't even know if they have a kid who's 24 on their entire team, let alone the average age of the roster being only that's like, hey, we got one 24-year-old. That's fine. The average age of the roster being that is insanity. The bulk of it was 6-year guys, 5th-year guys, 4th-year guys, with a handful of 3-year guys sprinkled in, and very few 1st or 2nd-year starters.
0 freshmen. So this one from Stan Becton, because somebody asked the question. One power conference head coach was asked his thoughts on Indiana. He replied with only a screenshot of this tweet from Stan Becton. Experience matters. Starting lineup of the last 3 college football playoff champions, all from the Big Ten. Indiana, 0 freshmen.
0.
3 second years, 2 third years, 10 fourth years, 4 fifth years, and 4 6 years. The 6 years will go away.
Yes, and the 5th years, I would assume, but I don't know.
You look at Ohio State as I go off through this real quick. So they had their 1 freshman, pretty special freshman, in Jeremiah Smith.
Pretty good player.
3 second years, 4 third years, 9 fourth years, 6 fifth years.
Yeah.
Michigan, 0 freshmen, 3 second years, 4 third years, 7 fourth years, 8 fifth years, and 1 6th year. Where is Oregon, not in the age,
But the years
But
of
the
college.
years part of this, when you look at the two sides.
It depends on what side of the roster you're looking at.
I mean, we're
and
projecting a little bit here
Sure.
because some of the battles might change. But
The interesting part is you go position room by position room, and it's very different. You go to the defensive line, and every single one of those guys that's starting is experienced and has been in college for 4 years.
so you got a lot of 4 years.
They all had
There you go.
opportunities to go to the NFL. Every single one of those guys is a 4-year guy. None of them are 5-year guys. I don't believe Bear is. Bear might be the only one. I couldn't remember what year he came out. It was at Georgia.
Uh-huh.
I think he was at Georgia for 2, USC for 1, and then Oregon for 1. So maybe he is a 5th-year guy. But Tuioti and Uiagalelei are going into year 4, and Amari Washington's going into year 4. They were part of Dan Lanning's first recruiting class. Outside of that, you have certain certain spots on the roster like center and Poncho, who's going to be a 4-year guy. Evan Stewart back, he's going to be a 5th-year guy because of the injury, the medical redshirt last year. He was a senior last year and will be a medical redshirt 5th-year guy this year. Outside of that, it's a lot of 2nd and 3rd-year guys. It's DeCorian Moore's a 2nd-year guy. Your top 2 running backs are 2nd-year guys. Jeremiah McClellan is a 3rd-year guy. Jamari Johnson's a 3rd-year guy. So you do have some that are edging towards the 4-5 range. I don't believe you have a 6, and maybe an Oregon fan can correct me if I'm wrong if there's somebody that I'm forgetting. A lot of your secondary is going to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd-year guys because you got Finney, who was a freshman, Obadegwa, who's going into year 3, Aaron Flowers is going into year 3. So you're trending in the right
Your
direction.
recipe is lining up with the last 3 national champions.
You're trending. You're not quite as old. I mean, nobody will ever be as old as Indiana. That just mathematically, I don't think can happen without a COVID year again.
Right.
We won't get that.
Yeah.
But you're going at least in the right direction. And this is where I look back last year, and I do think it puts some things in context because you look at the Indiana roster, the age, and the 5th and 6th-year guys, and you look on Oregon's side, and you've got true freshman at running back, true freshman at running back, true freshman at corner, all over true freshman at wide receiver, all over the roster was a lot of young guys, which is why I think we went into last year saying I didn't view it as a down year, but I didn't view it as a year where they could conceivably win a national championship, and the opinion swayed as the year went on.
It always does.
Depending on how
Yes.
games go, and you blow teams out or you lose games, it goes up and down. So I still think it was a tremendously successful year considering the roster limitations in terms of experience that they had. But now you're more into this bucket of, all right, there's a lot of 3rd, 4th, and 5th-year guys on this team, and that's going to help you tremendously.
I think there's an element of this I want to carry over. We got Dane Brugler coming up. He's the NFL draft pundit for The Athletic. Does a great job. The Beast podcast. He goes through his top 100 prospects. He had some update on one former Oregon player who probably not great for his draft stock. But I want to talk about this element too, the coaching side of this, and a couple quotes about Cignetti and what other coaches viewed from Cignetti that I want to carry over because Oregon is meeting, I think, the threshold and probably has for a couple years now. They went undefeated 2 years ago, won the Big Ten title.
That team was far more experienced than this last year's team. This year's had 5 starters returning.
Right.
That team was billed as the best, most talented Oregon team ever.
Yes.
I mean, Dylan Gabriel started more games in college than you had more experience than you've ever had maybe as a program.
Yeah, but had their season in, right?
And
so
a
like
blowout.
I think there's an element here that I want to talk about on the other side of the coaching element in terms of Oregon because they're meeting the threshold of what the last 3 national champion teams have had in terms of experience. So we'll carry that over. Hour number 2 rolls on. Dirt and Sprague 105.1, The Fan.
680 AM.
Well, one big element of building a team that potentially wins the title is the NFL draft. We'll talk with Dane Brugler coming up here at 7:30. He's got his top 100 prospects out on the Athletic website. Combine is next week. And so we have the Underwear Olympics happening next week. We'll talk with Dane Brugler coming up here.
Give me the spandex.
At 7:30. Quick reminder that Fan Madness is back. You can join the Fan Thursday, March 19th and March 20th for the two most exciting days of basketball at Tom's Watch Bar at A Casino. We'll be out there, the Firm, Harris and Meringue, the Happy Hour, and Primetime with Isaac and Suk, all broadcasting live throughout the day. Don't miss a minute of the action. Play hooky with the Fan for Fan Madness, brought to you by A and Window Nation, March 19th and 20th at A Casino Resort.
Cannot wait.
So one element, obviously, of this article of Signati is the coaching side. One guy says coaching still matters. We learned that. If you look at them, they're one of the finest coached teams of the last decade. That Miami team was obviously a more talented team than Indiana. He found a way to win. One other coach notes his practicing time. He puts a 90-minute limit on practices, which is not like Nick Saban or Les Miles. I don't know what Dan Lanning does, but
I'd assume it's not 90 minutes, but yeah, it's very unique.
He's a less is more guy. He's got an NFL approach. He's a very detailed guy. And
yes, he is.
Doesn't want his guys to have a lot of wear and tear on their bodies as they go into a game. But the coaching side of this, too, if Oregon is meeting the criteria for next year in terms of the experience factor, we know the talent, the young guys at cornerback or running back, filling in the blanks outside of the 3- and 4-year guys. I mean, it's gonna break down to Lanning and company, is it not? I mean, I think next year, barring an injury, everything is a matter of what has Lanning learned now, ending the last 2 years in blowout fashion.
So one of the biggest questions about Oregon football right now is what can they take from back-to-back years? I think the tough part about this one was that you were hoping this question was answered last offseason, and then it happened again, and it was a blowout loss to end your season. Now, this year was a little bit of a different circumstance considering the health at certain positions, and your coordinators were leaving with one foot out the door, and so you do have to be fair and give the benefit of the doubt in that regard. But they clearly didn't learn enough from the Ohio State game because the same result happened once again in back-to-back years to end your season. And it's just I don't know how they get over the hump. I'm not smart enough football-wise to tell you exactly X's and O's-wise what Indiana was doing and what they weren't doing. Line of scrimmage play is obviously very important. I continue to go back to Indiana because this question lingers in the offseason of what can we learn from them. It's a basis of this article and what can we take from them that they did. And I'm not saying it's an unfair question because we always do this in sports. When teams win championships, what do we get elsewhere? You try and get the copycat model. When Sean McVay won a title with the Rams, what did everybody do? They wouldn't hire any assistant that was relevant with him in any way, shape, or form and said, come be a head coach. When Philly wins a title, it's like, well, yeah, no S. The front seven matters and having a good defensive line matters. That shouldn't have been a lesson that we learned. I have a hard time with Indiana because I don't know. You can give me the 90-minute practice time. That's fine. You can tell me the coaching job that they did was terrific, and I don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. Where was the coaching job the year before when they got dominated in the big games that they played? Was it not coaching then? Like, that's the difficult part with Indiana
but
that
they were, yeah, okay. So
I'm not saying they were a bad team. I'm saying they went against elite teams, and they didn't have any chance of winning that game in any way. Now, they clearly got better, and they maybe learned the lesson.
That would be my counter is like, it was their first year at Indiana. They still went 10-2
I also think when you look at their roster, I'm not saying that Cincinnati's a bad coach.
No, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It's just the idea of, is there anything more to learn other than some of these guys were in his system with the same head coach and coordinators for 6 years? Like, they had a chunk of their roster of guys who started with him that he recruited out of high school at James Madison, played with him for multiple years at James Madison, transferred with him to Indiana. You know who the coordinators were that entire time? The same two coordinators that they still have. You know who the head coach was? The same head coach that they still have. And so they had a level of continuity and growth within the system that you just don't really have the benefit to do. And you know what Indiana won't have after this year? That same benefit, because you know who's going to get a head coaching job? Probably both of their coordinators after this year. And I'm still shocked that nobody scooped either of them up.
I know.
Especially the defensive coordinator for the job that he did.
Right.
Because nobody disagrees with the fact that Alabama on paper, more talented. Oregon on paper, more talented. Miami on paper, more talented. And they won all those games, two of them by blowout fashion. So to me, what do we learn from Indiana becomes more of a question following where they go from here. Because they can tell you we don't care as much about high school recruiting, or maybe you spend time elsewhere. What if Indiana starts to recruit at a high school level at a top 10 level? Then they clearly care about it. Then it's clearly important to them. They just haven't had the ability to do it because they don't want it. They can't sign high school recruits at Indiana because there's no background there. Somebody asked where did they finish last year. They were 29th,
Yeah, they were in the top 30.
29th in the country.
And
they
I
had
think
7
right
blue
now
chip
they're
guys.
in the top 22.
Right now it's very, very early, 5, 6. They have the same recruiting class right now as Oregon. 2 4-star recruits and 3 3-star recruits.
I know they're getting better in that regard.
They're clearly getting better. They're clearly, putting more of an emphasis on it because they have an easier ability to sign high school kids because they just won a national championship.
Or the counter is interesting to this. It's not that he clearly cares about recruiting. He noted it in his press conference at Landing of like, I got an hour and a half recruiting after this.
Yeah, and that was when the portal was open and all that.
He obviously cares. It'd be ridiculous to say he doesn't. I also just wonder when you have this kind of rise to stardom, how much the program just kind of recruits itself and not so much you have to spend way more energy going, well, I got to get all the 5 stars now. The other part, too, for I think Oregon and all the teams Oregon adjacent is you also can't allow for one title to change a whole lot of what you're doing.
No, that's my point.
You want the title, but also you can say, well, Indiana identified the right 3-star kids who love football in a way that a lot of 5 stars
So we're just going to go recruit 3-star kids now? No.
Dan Lanning's going to throw everything he can. He's going to take all the 5 stars he can. He's going to throw them at that dartboard, and he's going to hope that eventually he gets a bullseye.
A lot of those guys love football, too. 5-star kids can love football, too.
Peta's noted the age where Lanning is and how old Saban was when he won his first title. I do think the world is different in that way, but what I would say is I lean a little more that, but I also acknowledge going into next year, it's that heater, and by heater, it's like you're not getting fired or anything.
No.
But the pressure of what you do or do not do, it does squarely land on the coaching staff. They chose not to have outside candidates for their coordinator hires.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we have the guys internally. And I know, I think Bartu had noted where the offensive coordinator ranked on his metrics and matrix, and we got a little bit on the defensive coordinator stuff. I don't so much worry about that side because I think Lanning's always just going to be a big help in that room. But I think if they're to fall short again with all of that experience, I think people are going to raise questions depending on how it looks, right? If the offense is a little better but not a lot better and their offense struggles in a big game and lose, and they're obviously going to point, hey, why did you go outside? So I just think I look at next year outside of the obvious, hey, this guy's injured. It's all going to be on the coach because that's where this is at now. We just watched a guy take a program none of us thought in our lifetime would even be a conversation and win a title. Sure, some things fell in his lap. Players were with him for a long time. Coaches were with him a long time. But he still did it at a place 0 people existing in the college football world thought would ever be close to competing. Yeah. And he did it in year 2. So if anything, I think, what do we learn? I think what we learn is he's a great coach, but also all the temperature gauges for the coaches who haven't won the title, they just rose by 10 degrees. Sarkisian, hello.
Marcus Freeman, I mean, there's
even
a long
the guys
list
who
of
have
guys,
won.
yeah.
Hey, Kirby, it's been a minute. You know what I mean? Like the temperature,
but-
and it's not that they get fired. It's just that simply fan bases get louder and louder and louder every year that goes by.
I mean, they're now in a position where every year is title or bust.
Yes.
And so, we spent time in August talking about this is a rebuilding year for Oregon, and then the same people who said they're going to lose 3 or 4 games laughed at them for losing in the semifinal. And so you're now in that world where if you don't win a national championship, you're viewed as a failure, and that's just the reality of it. I have a hard time going there as a fan. I have high expectations for the team every year. Having a title or bust, meaning that I don't get any joy out of the season in any way, shape, or form if they don't win a title, to me is a pretty miserable way to live.
Can you have joy while still saying they didn't reach your expectations?
I mean, of course I'm disappointed if they don't win a national championship.
Like, you look at next year's team on paper right now, and
look,
put them in there?
Oregon is going to have as good as odds and a good as chance as anybody to win a national title.
Yeah.
This idea that they're coming into the year like head and shoulders above everybody else from a talent perspective is just ludicrous. They're not.
Yeah.
They're in the mix.
There's a
they're
lot of
in
good
the
teams,
conversation.
yes.
You think Ohio State's falling off?
Right.
Think Georgia's going away? Does Marcus Freeman not know how to coach anymore?
Miami?
Like, what are we? Miami's returning everybody. Indiana just went 16-0.
They got a
Do we
furry.
think they have the greatest coach of all time, I've been told. So is Indiana going to fall off? Like, this idea that you're just, Oregon's
LSU.
got to win it or else. Like,
Or else what?
Or else what? They're going to fire Dan Lanning? So if you lose in the semifinal on a last-second field goal, do I come in and say, what's wrong with this guy? So a lot of it depends on how it looks, right? If you lose in a blowout fashion, that will be a big part of it.
That's the thing that can't happen, right?
No, that
you can't
is
have a season
without.
in that
We can
way.
100% agree in that. I also just find it funny of the last 2 years in college football, we always ask, what can you learn? What do you take away? Now it's, well, Indiana's done it away. Nobody's ever done it. What were we saying a year ago? Just recruit the best players and eventually you win. Ryan Day, nobody gives Ryan Day any credit for winning a national championship. We still make fun of him, and he's got a title. He just won one 2 years ago.
I know.
And what do we say about that roster?
Yeah.
Just get enough good players. Eventually you'll do it. Now it's you don't need good players. Find 3 stars and just coach them up. Find guys who love football. Like, you just got to keep doing what you're doing and give yourself a chance. And watching Indiana in the years to come is going to be one of the most fascinating stories.
I agree.
Are they legitimately a team that year in and year out is going to do this? Are they going to be a team that has their, they go over the snow bumps or the snow bunnies, if you will, where, hey, there's an 11-win year, and now we're down to 9 or 8. Hey, and then we're back to 10 or 11, and then we're down to 7 or 8. Like, is that what they're going to look like?
Let me ask you this, because we got to go to Brugler. You see them being that? Because God, it's not about winning multiple titles. I'm not going there. I have a hard time seeing that guy be a coach who's randomly just starting to win only 7 and 8 games. I'm not saying they win a title. I'm not saying
depends on what they
contender.
face in non-conference, and it depends on what everybody else does.
Well, he's going to make sure
conference.
they don't have a non-conference schedule.
He's got 3 automatic wins every year.
Yes.
So he essentially has to go 5-4 in Big Ten play to get to 8 wins.
But he's done far better than that.
Yes, he has.
This year he beat all of the big teams that he had to face.
Yes, he did. Are they going to have the number 1 pick of quarterback again next year?
Well, I don't know, man. It'd be really odd. Be on a stage with a foxtail.
I hope he wears a furry costume.
That would be great.
Like, that's the other part of the Indiana thing that I get. But Mendoza hit. He was a Heisman Trophy winner and the number 1 overall pick.
He found him.
He deserves all the credit for it.
There.
The idea, though, that you did it once, therefore every quarterback you bring in. Miami just did this back-to-back years. Now, Beck was good in the playoffs, but he was nowhere near as good as Cam Ward. The rest of the roster got better around him, and that's why Miami won. Carson Beck wasn't.
They might have won the title if they had Cam Ward over
If they had
Carson
Cam Ward
Beck.
this year, I think they blow Indiana out if they had Cam Ward on this team with that defense and that offensive line. Carson Beck was one of the weaknesses of that football team. So just because you did it one year does not mean the next one's guaranteed. And the same is true of Oregon quarterbacks. There's no guarantee that the next one you go get, that Raiola will be as good as Dante Moore.
Let's talk about the NFL Draft. We've got the top 100 prospects out. Dane Brugler of The Athletic joins us coming up next on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, indeed, the NFL Combine preparing for next week in Indianapolis. Many team executives, top prospects alike preparing, except for former Oregon Ducks offensive lineman Isaiah World. According to Dane Brugler of The Athletic, suffered a torn ACL in Oregon's semifinal loss to Indiana, had to have surgery last month. He won't participate in drills. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract. They converted $54+ million of salary into a signing bonus that will create an extra $36 million of cap room this season. 49ers will add a second international game to their schedule in 2026. They were already part of the Australia game taken on the Rams, and it was announced this morning San Francisco serving as the home team for the Mexico City game in the 2026 regular season. Quarterfinal action in the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament today. Getting set to drop the puck in about 10 minutes between Canada and Czechia. The United States will face Sweden at 12:10 this afternoon. U.S. hasn't beaten the Swedes in Olympic hockey since 1960. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for In this wide world of sports, some stories can slip through the cracks.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
The Daily Ticker, where Dirt and Sprague hit the big stories you've heard about, and some you haven't.
How'd you do that? Actually, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
The Daily Ticker with Dirt and Sprague on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Hey, we're really excited for this one. It's nice to get our good friend on from The Athletic, does the Beast podcast, the NFL show, you name it. He's on at athletic.com. He's got his top 100 prospects out as well as the Combine's about a week away. Dane Brugler, our good friend on Twitter at DP Brugler. Dane, good morning. Thanks for hopping on with us out here in Portland. Getting excited for the Combine and the NFL Draft. We were just discussing what we're going to learn in college football, like the coaches, what they're going to take away from Cignetti and Indiana winning it and how crazy all that was. And so all these coaches give anonymous thoughts. I'm curious, when the Seahawks win the Super Bowl and you see the NFL play out, what are people around the NFL going to take away or think watching the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl this year?
And I think that is it's something that a lot of teams try to replicate, right? They say, okay, well, what did Seattle do right? How can we make some of those similar changes? It's a copycat league, and you understand why. You want to get a piece of that, and that's why we often see the coaching staff rated, try to get a piece of that intellectual advantage. But I think with Seattle specifically, you're not going to get the exact impact that defense made this year. It was such a profoundly efficient and impactful way of playing football. But you can at least tap into, I think, some of that DNA, and it really comes from the pass rush. What they were able to do up front, inside and out, all game against the Patriots, specifically in the Super Bowl. That's something that, and not that anybody needed a reminder that, hey, pass rush is pretty important, but there's no such thing as too much depth. There's no such thing as having too many pass rushers, guys that you can rotate in and out, keep fresh legs, fresh bodies out there, and just wreak havoc on the pocket, on the quarterback. So that, how it translates to this draft class is interesting because it's we don't have a Myles Garrett. We don't have a Nick Bosa per se, that clear-cut top guy at pass rusher, but we do have a really deep group where we're going to see 15, 16, 17 pass rushers drafted probably somewhere in the first 3 rounds, if not more than that. So I think that pass rush and the way that the Seahawks were able to make that such a big part of their identity, that's something we're going to see teams in this draft really try to tap into. And even if they have their 2 starters, get a third, get that third down specialist, the designated pass rusher, just get more juice on the edge so you're impacting the quarterback.
One of the most interesting questions on that regard about the draft, and I know you've talked about this, and I want to ask you about something that scouts have told you, and that is the idea of positional value. And you mentioned edge rushers, and there's maybe not the guy in this class that's an all-time first ballot Hall of Famer, but a lot of really good players. There is somebody in this class who you said, scouts have said, is maybe the best prospect they've ever seen at their position ever, and that's Caleb Downs. And when you weigh the idea of such an elite prospect at one position, but maybe doesn't have the same importance on the field, like that to me is one of the most interesting nuggets about the draft of, do you just take the best player available because it's probably Caleb Downs no matter where you're drafting, or do you look at these blueprints and say, man, our pass rush isn't where we need to be, and this guy might not be as good as Caleb Downs, but the position is more impactful than a safety?
Yeah, every draft has its own identity, right? And I think one of the themes of this draft is going to be just take the good player. Yeah, like plain and simple. Like, because you look at Jeremiah Love at running back, Sonny Styles, linebacker, Vega Ioane, the guard from Penn State, Caleb Downs. Those are 4 of the best players in this draft, full stop. But they play the quote-unquote non-premium positions. And so I do think that teams will have to come to grips with that, because usually in the top 10, that's not what you're going after. You're going the high upside pass rusher. You're going to toolsy tackle. You're going with the flashy wide receiver. You're chasing more of that upside and potential more so than the high floor type of prospects. But in this draft, where I don't think there are a ton of those high upside guys, I think teams are going to be perfectly fine saying, you know what, let's stop trying to go for the fences. get a really good double, and then we feel like we're helping our team. And that's Caleb Downs. And I think people, I tweeted that. I think some people took it the wrong way, as if I'm saying Caleb Downs is the best player or the best safety ever or anything like. But if I'm talking to a scout who's been scouting for 12 years in the Midwest, yeah, Caleb Downs is the best safety he's personally scouted, And so it's not like I'm talking to scouts that were 25 years ago in Miami watching Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, Caleb Downs is, no question about it, one of the best players in this draft. You just have to be okay with taking a position that we usually don't see in the top 10. I mean, you have to go back to Jamal Adams, went 6th overall, 7 years ago. And then before that, it's just, there's just not many examples. Even guys like Derwin James and Kyle Hamilton, they fell out of the top 10. So Caleb Downs, how early is too early? And I think the answer to that is going to look a little bit different from team to team.
That's crazy. The internet lacking context. Who would have ever seen that happening? Dane Brugler, the Athletic, our guest here. His top 100 prospects list is out. I'm curious, Dane, because you're plugged in with so many scouts and you talk to these teams and you're going to go to the combine and shake hands with everybody for a couple days. Mendoza's all but a lock for the Raiders. It's like the worst kept secret, and for me as a fan, it's a little bit of a bummer to know. I don't blame the Raiders because Mendoza had the season he had and they need a quarterback and whatnot. I'm curious, though, how often do you find yourself disagreeing with a lock or an obvious number one? Because Mendoza, I see the upside. I also see, if the line sucks, I've seen him rushed and he can really struggle. If the Raiders called you knowing how bad the Raiders currently are, Would you say take Mendoza, or would you say be open-minded about where to go at that position, given how much talent they're missing, I guess, from both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a worthy question because of so many need areas on that team. I think you have to be open-minded. In order to do the best due diligence for your team, you keep an open mind. Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number 1 overall pick. Is it going to be for your team, or would you get out of that? Because if you're not going to take Fernando Mendoza, you're trading out of there for a haul of picks, and that's where you have a chance to add a left tackle, add an impact wide receiver, and just kind of fill out your roster. But I keep coming back to the number 1 priority for a GM above everything is to get the quarterback right. And if you are convinced that Fernando Mendoza is someone that's going to help you compete for the division year in, year out, and be a top 12 to 15 quarterback in the NFL, then you have to take him. You have to. There are too many other teams that are chasing the opportunity that the Raiders have right now. The Browns would love to be in that position. You go up and down the NFL. There are a lot of teams wishing they were the Raiders this year, in position to take that quarterback. And yeah, they have a lot of other need areas, especially on offense. They need to get the offensive line better. They have to get more impact potential on the perimeter at receiver to help their young quarterback. But none of it matters if you don't get the quarterback right. So if the Raiders are calling me, unless someone just absolutely blows you away with a trade offer, Fernando Mendoza needs to be that pick, and then you do your best to surround him with talent.
On that note, we locally had a story of a guy deciding is he going to go or not. That was Dante Moore, and it might have surprised a lot of people that he decided to stick around. I know those around the program weren't that surprised, and they had an optimism that he was going to return and need a little more seasoning considering the age, and, it wouldn't even be 21 until, I think, a month after the draft. When he made the announcement, how much did that fundamentally change kind of how the first round is going to go? And then what's the over-under in your mind on how many quarterbacks we see go in the first round? Last year, Shador felt like a lock, and then he fell all the way to the 5th round, and then Jackson Dart slips into the back end of the first round. What are you looking at in terms of that number in the first round this year?
Yeah, the Dante Moore situation, I think a lot of people just kind of made up their minds. Like, well, obviously he's going to the draft. And I kind of pumped the brakes for people and just said, listen, guys, he's 20 years old. He's not in a rush. Scouts were pretty convinced in October that he was going back, and then they started to well, maybe, just the way things went, November, December, could he really pass up being a top 3 pick? But it always felt like it could go either way. You can understand the reasoning both ways. So I wasn't surprised when he decided to make that decision. I think a lot of people were, but I think people need to remember that the driving force for a lot of people is not just let me get every cent possible that I can. Dante Moore is being compensated very, very well, and he's doing a great things for his family. And even if he's not the number 2 pick next year, maybe he's the 8th pick next year because it's a better quarterback class, and whatever. Like, he's still going to be making really good money, and he'll be a better quarterback in the long run because of the extra experience he's getting, the development he's going to get next year at Oregon. So I think that's important context here. But yeah, I think that this is a quarterback class that's, from a selfish point of view, I wish he was in this class because it's not a very deep group. But we're going to see Mendoza go 1, and then we're going to be on quarterback watch. What is the next quarterback? It's probably going to be Ty Simpson from Alabama, who had a fantastic September, October, fell off a little bit in November, and then was kind of up and down the finish. But there's a lot of ability there. You only have 15 starts to his name. That's a big red flag. Could he go in the first round? Yeah, I think it's possible. The Steelers, the Rams, one of those teams in the back half of round 1 could no doubt take him. But I think he could go 15, he could go 55. Neither of those 2 outcomes would surprise me because I think he'll be not for everybody, and there'll only be so many teams that are going to be interested in the Ty Simpson sweepstakes. And so that just makes it interesting about where he could fall. But it certainly helps him that this is a light quarterback class. And if you don't get Ty Simpson, what's your plan B, plan C? Is it Garrett Nussmeier in the 3rd? Is it Cole Payton from North Dakota State, who's going to have to sit for 2 years before you play him? It's a light quarterback class. And so that, in that respect, that could help Ty Simpson go, sneak into that first round and be a player that teams are kind of jockeying for position to get.
Final one for you, Dane, because we do appreciate the time. Who is the highest ceiling, lowest floor? Like, who's the boom bust guy in your top 10? And then also with Ruben Bain Jr., what's your over-under of how many times you're going to reference arm length?
Yeah, and that'll be a theme of next week in Indianapolis. Look, we already know it's not going to be – he's not a long arm guy. It's just how he is. And he's got a very unique body type, and it's just not going to be for everybody. Some teams think he's a 3 technique. So it's going to be a really polarizing discussion with Ruben Bain. In terms of boom bust, I think that Arvell Reese, Ohio State is my number 1 overall player in the draft. Mm-hmm. It's just, he is a little bit of a hybrid. And so there's at least a kernel of doubt where you try to project him to, okay, is he a full-time edge rusher? Are you playing him off the ball? What are you doing? And I don't think that he has that much bust potential just because he's so talented. But when you're talking about him through the lens of being a possible number 1, number 2 overall pick, that's where you start to think about, okay, can he really live up to that?
Yeah, good stuff. Dane, what do you got coming up? I know you got the Combine coming up, but like in terms of online content, your latest podcast, The Beast, breaking down your top 100 prospects, really informative, really good. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, Combine preview will come out early next week, and then we'll have a lot of stuff coming from Indianapolis. And then, of course, with the Beast, when the draft guide comes out early April, it's something that if you're interested in the draft at all, it's something I promise you will not be disappointed with.
There we go. Give him a follow on Twitter, too. Yesterday, you had the Isaiah World news of the torn ACL, which is not good for a guy who's kind of going in with some shaky prospects. Anyway, on Twitter, at DP Brugler. Thanks so much, Dan. We always appreciate getting you on. We know you're extremely busy, so thank you for hopping on with us this morning. Enjoy Indianapolis, and hopefully we can catch up with you before the draft.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, there we go. Good stuff. Dane Brugler on the NFL top 100 prospects and where it sits as they get ready for the Combine.
That time of year, man. That time of year. The question about positional value, we talked about Caleb Downs, fascinating. And then the quarterback market we always follow. Who's the team that gets desperate? It's like, what the hell, take a guy, 28th pick. Is it the Rams? Is it the Steelers? I can't wait to see how it turns out.
A lot more to get into. Dirt and Sprague back with more on 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
What a win tonight for NC State over the Tar Heels. And it's 82-58, the final. NC State blasts UNC here in the Lenovo Center.
Oh, you know that voice, especially you, Coug fan. Matt Chasnow, Learfield Sports.
The Chazzer, dude. I forgot about Matt
That's what I
Chasnow.
told Swag. NC State blowing out UNC 82-58.
Yeah, look, that was an embarrassing loss for UNC. They seemingly are piling those up since their big win over Duke. I'd also like to submit my team here. They went 2 of 20 from 3 last night at home and lost
fair.
by 17 to Minnesota. So we also stunk it up.
Who's stinking it up? The Ducks at home and UNC against NC State. Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Our friends at Three Mountains Home Services are back with an amazing offer. Buy an AC and get the furnace absolutely free, but only for a limited time. Year-round comfort starts now. Visit threemountainshomservices.com today. We get a statter story coming up here. Listening to Brugler talk about the Mendoza Raiders situation, I totally get it, man. I'm not saying Mendoza won't be a stud. It's easy to see.
Yeah.
But if you're if I'm a fan of a Raiders, a Jets,
I made the argument last year. Trade
I'm
the
out.
pick.
I trade my pick. If I'm going to get a haul, give me a haul. We have 9 other areas we need to address, and if the offensive line is what it was this year, guess who's not going to be good? Guess who will be asking out loud, is he a bust?
Right.
Was it a Signetti thing?
Right.
Like, it's obvious that it's going to be Mendoza. But the reason that the Raiders are going to draft Mendoza and all these other teams that draft Mendoza is what, Dirt? rookie scale contracts,
And
right?
You're desperate for quarterback. You need a quarterback. Got
Well,
a quarterback.
I would like to submit into the record cheating in the National Football League.
Oh, who's cheating?
The Kansas City Chiefs cheating today. Anybody else see this story? The Kansas City Chiefs have restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract.
Cheating bastards.
It converts $54.45 million of his salary into a signing bonus.
Yeah, just cash. Here you go.
Which lowers his cap number to 34.
Yeah, the Hunt family, too, are just absolute scumbags. Like, I can't stand any of them. The daughter is a social media influencer. This guy is one of the cheapest owners who just lucked his way into Patrick Mahomes, and now he's flush with cash.
It marks...
Because they keep winning Super Bowls, and they just say, here you go, here's $50 million.
So they missed the playoffs last year after reaching Super Bowl in 3 straight seasons. They've created $43.65 million in cap space. It marks the 4th consecutive year.
Yeah.
They have been able to restructure Mahomes and say, you want a load of cash right now?
Yes, sir.
Because you on this number makes us be better, and we'll give you the cash.
Would you
and
rather
he goes, yeah, absolutely. I'm in.
I'll take
More
it.
ketchup, more par threes and ketchup.
Would you rather get paid bi-weekly or a lump sum of $50 million right now? I'll just go ahead and take the $50 million right now.
Look,
instead of making me wait until, next October to get paid.
Chief fan, don't be offended by this comment.
Bastards.
You know you just had a great news drop for you on a Wednesday, but everybody else without Patrick Mahomes is sitting here going, damn.
Yep.
That team now can go sign anybody. What did they free it up for? Max Crosby?
Probably.
Are they going to
Another
sign
wide
Trey
receiver.
Hendrickson?
Yeah, right.
They're going to bring in Tyreek Hill again because he'll be fresh off of an injury and he'll get back to his cheetah.
I don't think he'll cost much this time
He's
around.
cheap.
Yeah, he'll be cheap this time around. They probably got bigger fish in play. They also need some improvements along the. Remember how their season ended? Their offensive line crumbled, and Mahomes. I mean, they literally couldn't score. Their offense was horrible at the end of the year.
They're going to go get T. Higgins now?
Yeah, very well could.
With this cap space, you can go fill any void on your roster, and so
not to mention the salary cap was already going up from this year to next year by like $25 million. So you already had that much to spend, anyways.
You need Mahomes to say yes to do this, but like,
why would anybody say no to this? Because you're not taking a pay cut. You're just taking it in a different
form.
Now,
yeah.
Do I want it in a monthly, bi-weekly pay form, or do I want a lump sum? Go ahead and give me the lump sum right now, man.
Do you even think he has a conversation? You think that phone rings, he answers, hello? Signing bonus. I'm in.
Sure, let's do it.
I think it's that easy.
I'll build another hole in my backyard golf course. And now I have 4 holes back here instead of 3.
I think we were starting to make his voice like the wrestler Kane when he pretended that he was too burned to talk. Yeah, the smoking.
Now it sounds like one of the
thing.
holes in the smoker and teaching you to not do cigarettes. They're bad for you, kids.
I will take the money. All right. Thanks, Patrick. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right. We'll go sign you a left tackle and a wide receiver. Goodbye.
We'll see you in July. Team will be better. We'll get back to the playoffs. Dominate the dojo.
Cheating bastards.
Who will win the AFC West next year?
We all know it's going to be the Chargers, of course. They never disappoint and always live up to the hype and the expectations. Next year's the year. This is the year.
Bronco and Charger fan feeling great, and then the Chiefs go, hey, guys, we're still here.
Remember all of these Lombardis that we've compiled, and now we got more money to spend, and our coach and quarterback haven't gone anywhere? Yeah, we're still around.
Nice little story to read if you're the AFC West or any team trying to compete. Mahomes taking a payout, and the salary cap gets increased or gets lowered, however you want to describe that.
They got more money to spend
more money. Yeah,
on the rest of their team. Yep.
Loaded third hour of the show. Fourth hour will be Statter Story. Dirt and Sprague. We got Patty football in the fourth hour as well. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the NFL preparing for next week's Combine in Indianapolis. A word coming from Dane Brugler of The Athletic. Former Oregon Duck offensive lineman Isaiah World suffered a torn ACL in Oregon's semifinal loss to Indiana in the college football playoff. Had to have surgery last month. He will not go through drills, but will attend for interviews. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract. They converted $54+ million of salary into a signing bonus that creates an extra $43 million of cap space this season. 49ers will be heading to 2 international games in 2026, already part of the Australia game against the Rams. It was announced this morning San Francisco will serve as the home team for the Mexico City game coming up in 2026. Quarterfinal action in the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament going on now. Canada and Czechia locked up 1-1 with about 7.5 minutes to go in the first period. United States will take on Sweden later today, 12:10 puck drop. You can see that one on USA Network. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with
hockey. Whatever on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Happy hour number 3. Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. Welcome back in. Got lots still to get to in the show today. Halfway there. We got Patty Football coming up top of the hour. The football's footballing. That's what people tell me.
I was just talking to Hamilton during the break. I was like, I picked a hell of a year to be an English Premier League fan picking the team that I picked.
Yeah,
and he goes, you should have picked Fulham.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What's wrong with you?
I was like, I don't know, man. I just chose wrong.
We had listeners saying yesterday, why don't you just fold your Nottingham Forest dying fandom if they get relegated? You're probably going to not stick around.
No, I'm going to stay with them.
Still want them through the relegation?
I told Patty Football, I said, I don't know how I'm going to find all their games, but I got too much gear. My wife
now
bought
that you got
gear
the gear
and
you want to wear the gear and you got the gear. It is a good-looking gear. And whether I'm a fan of doing that, like random sports attire that you just like the logo or the color scheme. Like, I'll wear that even if I'm not a fan of your team. Well, sans certain situations and rivals. Obviously, there's certain lines that you cannot cross.
Without, making all our non-soccer bros out there. Let me just say this. It is incredibly disappointing to have gotten into the Premier League the way I have, despite you doubting my abilities to do so. I would actually say you motivated me even more by saying I wouldn't do it.
You're now George Costanza not breaking up with the girl because I told you you have commitment issues, and that's the reason you're still so passionate.
The disappointing factor is the year I finally do it.
Yeah.
Our producer, who claims to also be a Premier League fan.
He's a soccer
fan. His team is in a relegation war with my team, and he just doesn't bring up and talk about them because you know why? They're not in the top 4, so he doesn't watch.
We're not in the tables.
He's a bandwagon fan.
Yeah, I'm that way in every sport other than football. I don't blame you at all.
His team just fired their coach. It was controversial because the guy was really disliked. He hasn't brought him up at all organically.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He's out.
People are asking, why don't you just turn your soccer P1 fandom into the Timbers? Why don't you just watch all the Timbers games? You got Timbers gear now?
I do have Timbers gear.
They call you Timber Sprague on the streets. That's what people tell me.
I'm definitely going to use our company tickets a couple times this year. Take the wife to a game.
You walk around with a chainsaw in the neighborhood. You're just cutting down random trees.
My only thing is, like, I just I'm not going to turn all of my energy into the Timbers. I will pay a little more attention to it. But I was talking about this with Jake, who's a far more Timbers fan than I.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of had a lockstep agreement. We're just never going to be a Timbers Army person.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm not
you have to
anti
be.
you being a Timbers Army person. I'm
too
just
old
never
for
going to
that.
be a guy that wants to sit there and sing and chant the whole game. I'm more of a casual, let me sit back in my seat.
And enjoy the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, the Army is its own thing. But all my friends that have had season tickets for 15 going on, I can't remember when they first got them. I think they were still a USL team. It was before they went to the MLS. They're diehards. They don't live the.
That's not
Timbers
for everybody.
No,
Army.
I understand that. I'm not saying
But
every
they're
fan
diehards.
is a diehard in the Army. I'm just saying, like, we were just talking about being in certain sections of the stadium. And
I'm with you on that.
He has sat in the actual thick of the Timbers Army, and he told me a story that when they let off a smoke bomb, he inhaled too much, had an asthma attack, and a mom of 2 children was like, "Hey, start singing with us now!" And he was like, he's like dying over here. And I'm like, this is why I couldn't do it. If I'm sitting down at all because, like, I'm
God,
tired.
I love Jake. That is the most Jake story of all time.
It's so good.
Never inhaled.
He's a mace in his eyes. What the hell happened to you, dude?
Yeah.
Sing, Jake, sing.
You
Stand
find
up.
me on the opposite
You're
side.
with the blue hairs on the west side.
Enjoying the
That's
match.
where you are. You got some crumpets over there. You got a little wine, some caviar.
I'm enjoying the soccer, just a different level.
I'm with you. The only time I've ever sat in a fan cheering section at a soccer game is ironically not at a Timbers game, but it was at a Sounders game. I was visiting family in a sport where we're actually rivals between Portland and Seattle. What a novel concept. We hate each other in that sport. What a unique thing. I'm sure I thought soccer fans don't we root for Seattle teams?
No.
Anyways, I was in the Sounders. My family
It's
dragged
different
me
football.
to it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll go do this. I have a couple of beers. I was young, probably 24. And I remember sitting about 10 rows up at their field, and whatever it was at the time, CenturyLink, and I couldn't see 90% of the game because, 1, I'm tiny. 2, everybody in front of me had the big flags.
Oh, the flag
So the whole
waving,
game,
yeah.
they're waving the flags, and I'm like, dude, I can't even.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's happening right now. And then somebody scored, and I literally didn't even see it, and the crowd reacted. And I
That's
thought,
devastating.
This is the dumbest thing ever. I don't even want to be here in the first place, and now I can't even watch the game. What's going on? So I just ended up getting really drunk, and then we went home.
I'm kind of one of those, like, I don't like to criticize fans. I used to when we started doing this back in the day. And then as I got older, I realized I'm not going to anything. Who am I to criticize, right?
Right.
What I would say is, though, I'm the guy who wants to encourage people to be the sickos at the games while also telling you, oh, I'm never going to be one.
Yeah.
Like the Clippers. The Clippers at their Intuit Dome, they have a section
That
behind
fan
the
wall
dome.
thing, the dome.
The
yeah.
wall, yeah. It's like those people, it's like a European basketball highlight that people share. Like, why isn't American basketball ever like this? And it's an entire arena of flags and jumping up and down for the whole game. And I'm like, there should be a section like that.
Yes, I'm just not of that
I'm just
ilk.
never going to
That's
sit
me.
in it,
Not
and
me.
I applaud people who do.
The Browns are going to do that. Do you see that in their new stadium renderings? That behind one of the end zones, they're going to try and do the Clipper thing, where it's like a super steep wall, and it's
Was
going to
that
be
where
a
the dog
brown.
pound is going?
I'm assuming that's the dog pound, and
So
where
they
will
have
be.
to be at a certain level of energy for the whole game, right?
That's what the reading that I had on it, and there's certain you got to apply, and there's a process and all that. You can't get rid of your tickets, and it's dog pound members only. That is it.
Well, people talk about the college atmosphere versus the NFL. Check you up 2-1.
Dude, I'm going to try not to throw you off. Don't react to my facial reactions. Checky, I did just score. They're up 2-1 on Canada.
There we go. Stop, yeah, because
I can't not do it. It's right over your head.
You threw me through a loop during Dane Brugler's interview.
The Macklin Celebrini goal was an O-face. That was an O-face goal. Macklin made me O-face.
People, what?
Pasta.
David Pasternak getting the goal. Pasta.
That's what they call him. That's his nickname. David, he's an NHL player. His nickname's Pasta. Top shelf, too. You know what he just did? Hold on. We haven't played this one in a while.
That's the most random drop of all time.
Mr. Pasta. Did we lose our Roof Daddy drop? Did we still have that in there anywhere?
No, I thought I was in there.
Is that still in there?
Anyways, what I was going to say
here we go.
was...
To the Roof Daddy! Oh, look at that!
I love that drop.
It's an all-time.
What I was going to say was a lot of people talk about the NFL lacking the college atmosphere. I mean, it doesn't get brought up enough. I think the Falcons and the Ravens both have marching bands playing in the stands.
They do. They always have.
But they never get credit for it.
No.
They're lumped into the general NFL environment.
Yeah, it's funny how the atmospheres of the two sports can feel very differently. Not that it's not like there aren't drunk idiots and you're not unsafe at times in college games. There is the idea of going in an NFL game where I genuinely, depending on the city, Niners looking at you, Raider, like there's an aspect of like I'm genuinely scared for my safety going to the game.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's a different edge to
NFL fandom than there is college
as opposed
fandom.
to college football.
There's a lot of drunk college idiots running around. There's drunk people. And,
It's happy drunk 20-year-olds versus miserable mid-40s drunks.
Little
yes.
bit.
There's a real difference there because I've been to enough college games and I went to a Niner preseason game. Preseason.
Yeah.
And the amount of disturbing, uncomfortable, drunk adults at the preseason game that almost got into fights.
It's a preseason
and I'm
game.
like,
what are we doing here,
I'm
man?
never going to be regular season football NFL guy. I just, one, the TV product will just always be infinitely better to me. But two, no thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting drunk. And now I'm going to be around a bunch of people who are just going to want to shank each other.
No thank you.
Little shiv in the rib because your
shiv.
team scored.
A little shivvy on your side.
No, thank you.
Somebody said, one of our people, don't you think cheering, chanting at games is overrated? I'm about your age, but I hate yelling and cheering when I'm at a game.
No, I'm honestly this.
I'll stand up. If a great play happens, sure, but on third down, I can't stand up and just yell or at least don't care enough to do so.
I don't want to lose my voice because of the job.
Yeah, there's that part of it for sure.
And I just get a drumming headache at the end of the game if I walk out and I had
It's one of the benefits, to be honest with you, of going to NBA games is there's no real requirement to do that. Like you cheer, you get like a big play, alley-oop happens. Hey, that was cool. All right.
And you stand up with everybody,
Sure.
but you don't need to be
the majority of the
loud.
game, you're just sitting there watching the game. Same with baseball. There's not constant chanting. I'm drinking a beer.
Baseball's
Let me sit down.
the most casual of
Go
all the
walk
casual.
around the concourse. You're not
Yeah.
going to miss anything.
Yeah.
4 ground balls. Nothing happened. You're fine. Go
Look,
sit back in your seat.
If you're the 45-year-old who goes to the Timbers matches and you're going crazy, like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. I'm not shaming that.
No.
I'm just the guy.
I'm a little jealous of the energy that you have because I just don't have the energy to do that. That consumes it, man. Runs your battery low.
Yeah, it does. I usually have the energy because I'm on the other side drinking a Diet Coke, enjoying my life, and I'm like, yeah,
hey,
great job.
Look at that footy header,
Go
man.
team.
Well, we will talk to Patty Football coming up top of the hour. I meant to do something here, and I'm going to do it next. And that is two-part question. One, on an idea that you floated with our friend Dane Brugler, who was great. Go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com.
Always informative.
Should this team have done that? And does it change the way you view the way the Raiders should handle the number 1 overall pick? And part deux of that is, did your football team sleep with somebody's wife? Because I got some questions. So we'll get to those next on The Fan.
a.m.
All right, Patty football coming up top of the hour. Got some random odds and ends to get to. I did want to start this segment, and then we'll get to the idea of what a certain team should do. To come full circle from the opening segment, there was the news on Tony Clark resigning or getting fired, whatever the terminology you want to use, as the head of the MLB Players Association. And the reason he did was because he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law.
Well, he's being investigated for funneling funds, but yeah, it ended because of the
and the reason it was
sister-in-law
a conflict of interest was because he hired the sister-in-law to work at the Players Association.
That poll question hitting people out of context too, of just like, what?
Go vote on it at Dirt and Sprague. What's worse, your brother's wife or your wife's sister? And look, it leads to a lot of jokes. Haha, what an idiot. People must be pissed off here. I then have to ask the follow-up question, did the 49ers sleep with somebody's wife? Because who did they piss off? In the news today is the announcement, we already talked about it at length, that they're going to open their season in Australia against the Rams, which is just stupid to play football in Australia, and we're on agreement on that. That's an international game, is it not? I believe Australia is not a part of the continental United States.
No, it's its own continent.
Thank you.
It's an island.
It's also an island. That's a fun debate again.
A few islands.
It is. Announced today is that the 49ers will also play a game in Mexico City. So now not only do they have East Coast road trips on their schedule, I think they play the Falcons and the Giants on the road, if I'm not wrong, which, Earth to Matilda, long ways away from San Francisco.
Who's their AFC crossover again? It's the East. It's
the
Miami.
Yeah.
It's the Miami, Buffalo, New
So
England.
there might even be another one in there that I haven't even mentioned. So who's the other one, right? So you've got multiple East Coast trips.
NFC West.
Yeah, go pull up their schedule.
49ers away games. You have the 3 divisional opponents, and one of those will be in Australia.
Yes, so the one that was a close by San Francisco to L.A. flight is now in Australia.
You are at Atlanta, at Dallas, at Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
At the Chargers.
Okay,
so
that's
a de facto
That's a home
game.
game. That's a home game.
That'll be a home
and
game.
you're at the New York Giants.
Giants, at the Giants.
And then Australia
Yeah.
and Mexico City. It's not been announced yet who they will play in Mexico City or when the game will happen.
You think they'll take the Chargers game?
I think it'd be the Chargers game.
It's a home game for the Niners. Now, is that one in L.A. or in San Francisco? So they're losing a home game for the Mexico
It's a
City.
home game either way.
The road game will be the Rams.
I get your point. But
The
they can't
Niners-
play the Chargers in Mexico City because it's not technically a home game.
So the reason, I remember I cited this when we were talking about the Australia game, that York at the Super Bowl was like, we're willing to lose the home game. We're going to lose a home game this year. And I thought it was initially the Australia game. It's going to be the Mexico City game.
The Australia game's the road game in L.A. It's the Rams road
They're
game.
going to put, because one of the home games is Vegas, they're going to put that Raider
Niner game in Mexico City would do extremely well. Dangerous, but extremely well.
Talk about a game you don't want to go to or attend.
violent,
I'm going to go ahead and avoid that one like a plague.
I don't know if I can go to the predictive markets and put some money on something.
Something got to happen
I would lay some
Something
heavy
bad.
coin
It's going to happen
that the Raiders-Niners game will be
Those
Mexico.
games back in the day in Oakland,
Oh, God.
there used to be so many melees in the crowd because of how drunk and violent that rivalry was.
You get the Bay Area rivalry tied into it.
I remember
Now
one in
it's-
Candlestick was a report Raider fan stabbed in neck after Niner Raider game.
Oh,
It's like,
fun.
damn, man.
Just taking the family to a fun Sunday of entertainment, and I got a
And I'm dead
knife
now.
in my neck. So that's cool.
Look,
How do you get two? How many teams have played 2 international games?
the
Somebody
Vikings
stayed
just
over there
did it.
last season,
The
didn't
Vikings.
they?
Okay, well that's different though. If you're staying over for an extra week,
I think it was the
play
Vikings
in
or
Dublin
Jags.
and then played in London or something like that.
that at least makes sense travel wise. You have one long trip, you hang out, you play your game, and you get a week where it's a short trip to another country.
How much further is Mexico City for a San Francisco flight than like Dallas?
That I don't know off the top of my head. I'd imagine it's decently longer, but I don't know.
I've
me
never
look that
flown
up.
to Mexico City, so that's why I'm
I have
asking the
never been to
question.
Mexico City either.
Look, the tough thing here is, one, they're coming in with the reputation of you're not going to stay healthy, right? If you buy the Niners, you're just buying it on the upside they stay healthy, but most people will not pick them because you assume they're going to get hurt.
It's 1,100 miles from Dallas to Mexico City.
So this says Dallas from San Francisco to Dallas about 2.5 hour flight, pretty quick, and this one's about a 5-hour flight.
Okay.
So it's not that big of a difference, but you have the elevation tied in, and it's international.
I was going to say all 1,100 miles are straight up because you're going up that mountain. But it's like you're going to Australia. That's going to be difficult enough to navigate. You're going to go against the Rams, too. Like, good luck. Stafford's goodbye season. I'm sure that's going to go well. And then you're just going to voluntarily lose a home game so you can go to 9,000 feet elevation or whatever the hell it is at Mexico City. Like, And I don't even care if they have more fans there. It's just, I don't know, man. Fade the Niners. Fade the Niners.
Out again. You're out this year. You're out again next year. They're gonna pull you back in. No worry.
Well, I was in it.
At least you're a
just
long
make
ways.
The playoffs.
Yeah,
that's all I'm in on. Just make the playoffs. Get to the dance. I'll be happy. But this is like, it's so discouraging to hear a team that can't stay healthy. Hey, go to Australia and then go to Mexico City.
Yeah, I'm sure that's good for recovering. Although you will be a long ways away from the substation, so you got that going for you.
Yeah, maybe, or we'll be there all week.
The electrical currents won't injure you because you're going to be gone.
The hilarious thing is them denying that it's real while Lynch is like, we're also going to look at everything.
Yeah, right.
And then like Kendrick Bourne, yeah, we think it's real.
Players legitimately saying, like, this is a thing I'd like them to be taken seriously.
But then Fred Warner's like, this is my first year getting hurt. I've been around it for 7 or 8 seasons. Like, it's not really a thing until it's a thing.
Probably not a thing, but they do got to figure out the injury luck. So you mentioned with Dane Brugler, we all know the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick, speak of the Raiders, and are very, very, very likely to take Fernando Mendoza. The odds of them trading the picks seem very slim. Seems like they've made up their mind. You hired an offensive-minded head coach in Kubiak, and here you go. Go get your quarterback. Let's rebuild from here. I am somebody who, and I remember arguing this last year, and I'm wondering in the hindsight revision of it how we feel about the choice that was made. So we argued this back and forth a year ago about Cam Ward. We all knew was going to be the number 1 overall pick. There was no debate. The idea was, what should Tennessee do with it? They got a lot of things that they need. They were one of the worst teams in the NFL. Do you trade the pick or do you hold on to the pick and take your quarterback? A year later, they took Cam Ward. They went 3-14 in his rookie season. He had some moments, some ups and downs, certainly nothing to write off. I thought it was similar to kind of the year that Drake May had, where there were a couple of throws and moments where you're like, looks like an NFL quarterback, while also acknowledging everything else around him sucks. And maybe hiring Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll will be enough to get them going. The Titans are drafting 4th overall this year. So when we look back on the debate in hindsight, right call to take the quarterback? Would it be better to have the haul of picks? And how does that connect to the idea of the Raiders, who, I'm with you, like, this should always be a serious question, because for as long as we've been around the NFL, we know one thing, and that is every quarterback projection is a total roll of the dice. And if you have the chance to get, 3 or 4 first-round picks out of it instead of Mendoza, where does the value weigh on the scale of what is more important in building your team?
Well, look, the Raiders are in a perpetual cycle of suctitude.
Yes.
If they choose Kubiak, which they do, they believe in him. If they sit him down and you say, Clint, check all the tape, watch every single second. If this is, without a doubt, the guy you want, we're in. If you have any reservations, buddy, we will take the phone calls.
Who's calling us and what are they offering?
And so, like, without being...
The Jets wouldn't offer 3 first-round picks for the number 1 overall pick? They're so desperate.
I don't know, man.
I'm not saying the Raiders
I think
aren't
that's the tough
but
thing. Like, our teams, like, obviously you get the Luck, Burrow, like type guys, Caleb-like guys going into drafts, the buzz. But how many years does that happen? Like, last year wasn't really that. I didn't think, like, Cam Ward
was not that level of prospect for a lot of people.
Level.
Yeah.
We thought Shador was going to be the 4th pick of the draft, and you slipped to, like, the 4th or 5th round. So, like, I think you evaluate, and if Kubiak is, no, this is the dude. We'll figure out everything else. This is the dude. Yeah, you don't hesitate. But if he has any thought of, what's the line? I think you got to take the phone calls. And I think he's going to be a good quarterback. What is his ceiling is the hardest thing. I mean, it's an impossible thing to answer. Teams can't even answer these questions. So having guys like us do it is even more impossible. When I look at him, I think, is he slightly better ceiling version of Kirk Cousins? Or can he be more than that? Can he be Sam Darnold? His size, his accuracy, his arm strength, certainly. Also, what did we see in the title game? What did we see a little bit with Oregon? Like Ohio State? And look, this works for every quarterback, but the minute it's not the cleanest pocket for 4 seconds, it got a little shaky and dicey there at times. So it just depends on Kubiak. I think it all hinges on that. If he's all in, you do it. If he's not, dude, I think teams do a disservice not taking those phone calls more often when you're sitting at such a low level.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because as one listener points out, and I think it's the prime example of this working out now, like it's been one good year, so I don't want to, crown anything as this is going to be a great run for the franchise. But the prime example of this working out is Chicago. Chicago had the number 1 overall pick. It was Bryce Young who was the candidate to be the number 1 overall pick. They're like, I mean, he's good. He's just won the Heisman Trophy. Nobody doubts his ability. Size, a bit of a question. Is this really a can't-miss prospect? Somebody else is desperate. Here comes Carolina. Carolina blew chunks their first year with Bryce Young. So did the Bears. So not only did they have Carolina's top pick, which I think turned into the number 1 overall pick in the draft, if I'm not wrong. And I think the Bears had like the 8th or 9th pick.
It was, and they
landed Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze with 2 top 10 picks. They said, all right. So that was the point I was making on Tennessee. When you look back at it, like they already themselves had the 4th overall pick. Now, that wasn't Cam Ward's fault, but no matter who else you run out of quarterback, that team sucked. They were going to have a top 5 pick either way, and you might have traded with somebody else where now you have 2 top 5 picks and you have a lot to play with. The Texans, the year that they took Stroud, and why am I blanking on the edge rusher from Alabama? And they immediately turned things around, and all of a sudden, I know we're asking questions now about Stroud, but they made the playoffs the next year. And so I think there's a legitimate conversation to be had here, and I'm glad that you brought it up with Dane about the value that you might get from a Jets team who's desperate. You look up at the Browns and the asset of picks that they have. Are they willing to trade up with a couple of ones to go get it? And do you say, all right, man, like we think Mendoza's a good prospect. Certainly, we're not going to live in the world of fear that he might turn into this dominant guy because there's also the reality he might not be any good in the NFL. And I could get 3 first-round picks. That's how you rebuild your roster.
The history of the league suggests it's not going to work.
Yes.
Right? How many times does it work?
Over 50% of these guys don't pan out.
So I think you'd be betting against futures a little bit in that game too, right? Like if the Jets and the Browns call you,
you're likely going to have a good pick.
Why am I not taking that phone call? They have done nothing.
Right.
Nothing. The Browns are one of the worst-run sports organizations out. Why would I not take the phone call if they're in such a desperate spot that their Pro Bowl quarterback sucks and the guy they gave the worst sports contract to ever exist sucks? They're like, hey, we'll give you 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Remind you that Cleveland has 2 first-round picks this year because of the trade they made with Jacksonville. They have their first-round pick, which is 6th overall.
And Jacksonville's what?
And Jacksonville's
17, 18,
is somewhere in that
20,
range,
whatever.
Early 20s, I think.
Like, why would you just not take it? And I think that would be, to me, I don't know if I'm in love with Mendoza. It's not that he won't work. It's just like, I can see the upside part of it, and I also see the other side of, I just watched the Seahawks win the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. Jalen Hurts was a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
We're debating if he's the problem.
Yeah.
So, like, you want an elite guy. You want the quarterback contract if he's going to play at a Caleb-like level or a Bo Nix-like level. But if you don't have the right stuff around him, and he doesn't, you're kind of sunk again. And you're right back in this thing in 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
And that's unfortunately the nature of the beast, which is why a lot of these teams sit where they sit. I'd argue a bad spot to be in today is the Panthers. They made the playoffs, Sprague. What are you talking about? Yeah, they got to pay that guy. Is that really a franchise quarterback? They clearly have a receiver, an offensive rookie of the year. Their coach seems to be pretty smart. If they improve their defense, okay. But is Bryce Young a guy you win at an elite level, or is we get you to the wild card at best guy, and then he fizzles out against clearly a better team?
Right, there's a ceiling, and you just keep butting your head against it.
So, there's a lot of positions I think the Raiders sit in today, and whether they keep Crosby or not, we'll have to wait, because all the intel is they want to keep him now, but, who knows where he's at. If you're going to get a haul, I don't know why you wouldn't take a phone call and say, let's address 3 positions. Let's go sign Malik Willis, and let's go win 8-10 games next year, be the team that did it with the redemption quarterback, and then maybe find ourselves in a Darnold-like spot or a spot where, hey, we're back to some respectability in our division that's already hard enough, and maybe we eventually draft the next guy.
Yeah. Talk about rebuilding through picks. You trade the number 1 pick and Max Crosby. How many number 1 picks are you getting out? How many first-round picks you got? That's a lot of picks.
One trade that was interesting, side note, I know we're against it.
Yeah.
Barnwell did like 11 trades he'd like to see. One of them was Chicago trading DJ Moore and like a 5th for Crosby and a 4th.
Is that enough to get Max Crosby if you're the Raiders? I love that trade for Chicago. I get it from their angle, but from the Raiders side, can you not get more out of Max Crosby than that?
I don't know. That's the thing. I think
know he's coming off an injury.
Hard.
I think he had surgery and that kind of stuff, but
he's getting up there a little bit in the age ladder. Not a lot.
That's an interesting one.
There.
Yeah, I'd love that if I were Chicago though, because DJ Moore. I mean,
he's
DJ
good.
Moore's a good player, but he's not making or breaking their season in my mind.
They drafted Burden. They've got Odunze.
Right. Burden had a good rookie year, so
they've got Loveland now. Like they're sitting in a good spot where you look at the other side. If they're elite on defense, I think they'd be a trendy pick for people to win the Super Bowl.
Let's ask this question. How much is left in the tank for either of these players? And if your team is looking for this position, how do you feel about it? We'll dive into that next. But first, your Swag with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, all the preparations for the NFL offseason in the works. The Combine set to go from Indianapolis next week. Free agency starts at the beginning of March, and the Kansas City Chiefs restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract by converting $54+ million of salary to signing bonus. It'll create an extra $43+ million of cap room this season. Meanwhile, the 49ers will most likely log the most travel miles of any team in 2026. Already a part of the Australia game taking on the Rams. It was announced this morning San Francisco serving as the home team for the Mexico City game this season. Quarterfinal action in the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament today. First intermission right now. The number 1 seed Canada trailing Czechia 2-1. David Pastrnak with a power play goal to give Czechia the lead. Coming up at 12:10 this afternoon, the United States will take on Sweden. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for
All right, welcome back in. Good conversation with the brand man during the break. Settling issues, solving problems. That's what we do here. Sounding board, Dirt and Sprague. We're always here with the good ideas.
We were just talking about fill-ins and how I might create a KD burner account, jump on the YouTube chat, and just trash us while propping up the fill-ins. I really hate that morning show.
It's going to be a burner against our own show.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
I definitely would do that.
Not a bad idea.
I go KD on that chat.
I'm okay with that. Let me ask this question. If your team is in the market for a wide receiver.
Natural transition there, Bob.
You know who needs a wide receiver?
Yeah.
The 49ers could use one.
There's a lot of teams that could use one. The Chiefs could use one.
They could. You know who else could use
the
a wide receiver?
The Chargers could use one.
The Chargers.
The Broncos could use one. The Patriots could use one.
A lot of teams.
Is there a team that can't?
The Bengals still need one.
Fair point.
They should trade one of them. They have too many of them. That's their problem. They have two that they paid way too much money to.
Do the Eagles?
They're going to trade A.J. Brown.
If you have one receiver, do you say your team needs a receiver?
Yeah, is Devonta Smith the number one guy? Yeah, he's an interesting. I know he's good.
But is he a true one?
It's
the Garrett Wilson conundrum.
Also, the limitations that his quarterback is not the best thrower of the football. Like, if you put him in an offense with, I don't know, Matthew Stafford, what are his numbers looking like?
Well, what is the thing that put the Seahawks over the top? They traded for
a quarterback?
A receiver. Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's kind of a do-all guy,
They
right?
also traded a receiver before they traded for a wide receiver.
You're right, but they already had a receiver.
Metcalf.
See, this is the thing. If you're an NFL fan.
Do you want one or two or three?
Well, you want like 5, right? Like you want your team to never run out of options.
Yeah.
But if you have a one on your team, do you ever go into the offseason and it's like a top 3 wish list item? Or do you say...
I'd say for some teams it should be.
It'd be nice if we could fill in some spots and get a good guy. Like, I think it's Buffalo got Palmer.
Yeah.
From the Chargers. And I remember saying like, oh, that's not a bad little pickup. I don't know if I heard his name 7 times this year.
Not at all, which tells you...
So sometimes those filling guys don't really fill in.
It's funny. Yeah. So let's ask this question.
The Bills need a receiver.
They absolutely do. They've needed one since the trade a couple of years ago, and they've been looking for one. Your team needs a wide receiver. These 3 players are available. Now, there's different ways that you can go get them. Which one do you want your team to go get? So yesterday, Tyreek Hill got cut. He is now available and will be incredibly cheap. He's option number 1. Door number 1, hey, domestic violence issues, off-the-field problems, may or may not get arrested, fast when healthy. Door number 2, I got a 33-year-old who went on one of the most unbelievable streaks we have ever seen in the history of the NFL that came to a tragic end last year. Tragic like he died. He just got hurt. 1,000-yard season's over. Mike Evans saying he will play again next year.
Yeah.
Is there anything left in the tank, right? 2 years ago, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. The year before that, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Last year, battled injuries. First year of his career, entered the NFL in 2014. First year of his career that he did not have 1,000 yards. Mike Evans, door number 2. Door number 3, you want some issues on your sidelines? You want some problems arguing with the coaches and coordinators? And you got to trade for him. A.J. Brown likely available. Do you go through door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
Can I ask a follow-up?
Go ahead. Fire away.
Is there a commitment past 1 year?
I don't think so for any of these guys. Now, let me see what Tyreek Hill, like, why would anybody give Tyreek Hill more?
So there's no commitment past one season.
Do you think that Mike Evans or Tyreek Hill will get a longer than 1 year deal?
No.
Maybe a 1 year prove it? Like,
this is am I taking door 3 if I only have him for 1 year?
Let me see.
Because I'm taking door 3.
A.J. Brown's contract is, when did he sign his extension? He has technically 4 more years left on his deal, but there's an out after 2026. So after 1 year, you can get out of it. His cap is $23 million next year.
I'm going to roll the dice with the most talented one of the group. Now, career-wise, Mike Evans, I'd love to have Mike Evans. Mike Evans is either going to be Cooper Kupp for a team next year.
Oh, yeah.
Or he's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. And so when you go roll the dice, older guy who's got a lot of mileage.
Devontae Adams was a little bit of this last year, too. Like, we debated in the offseason, will he be good? And he had moments, and then he got hurt in the back end of the year.
Well, and Keenan Allen came back to the Chargers. We laughed at that. He ended up becoming one of the best targets for Herbert last year in some spots. So I think Evans is still capable of delivering. Not to the maybe 1,000-yard season level, But legitimately a Cooper Kupp for the Seahawks level this year.
Yeah, number 2, number 3 occasionally.
Door 1's not even a consideration for
Not
me.
even a thought.
And I know the Chiefs are definitely going to think about opening door 1 because of the history, and
a
they
lot
don't
of
mind
teams
it.
will, dude. You know a lot of teams will.
I hope my team doesn't, is what I would say. I want nothing to do with it off the field stuff. On the field, the minute he doesn't get the ball, it's like, and I know A.J. Brown also has this, but I just feel
off the field
like
stuff's a little bit different there. Like, it hasn't been legal trouble. He's just a headache in the locker room and on the sideline. That's different than saying you're accused of some awful, awful behavior.
Well, but Tyreek is coming off an Achilles. Or no, like broken ankle, right? Wasn't his foot was facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
So it's the age, it's the mileage, it's the injury, it's the attitude. A.J. Brown has a huge swing.
Knee dislocation.
That's what it was. Because of how he can be.
Yep.
But if you're telling me I have an out after 1 year and it doesn't work how I hope it does, yeah, dude. You're
Third-round pick, fourth-round pick, whatever it is.
Yeah, for a mid-late round pick.
Yeah. Eagles seem eager to
that.
move on. I don't know why they would keep him around. There's no way that ends well for them. It's an issue. It's a distraction, and why would you not pivot out of it? So I feel like he's going to be available, and the other two are. Mike Evans announcing that he's not under contract for next year. He wants to play again next year, injury-riddled season.
See, I don't think Tampa can let him go. I'm going to give you
the culture of the locker room and what he's meant to the organization.
I don't believe this exists much in the NFL. I mean, one of my favorite player of all time didn't even end his career with the team, and Jerry Rice. Like, very few guys get that. I just think he
was a famous Seattle Seahawk. How dare you?
He needs to end as a Buck. I once in a while get that with some athletes. Like seeing Steph, I want Steph to compete. I like seeing Steph on the big stage. Seeing him not be a Warrior, be very odd.
Very, very weird.
So there's athletes in sports that I would personally like to see be a lifelong guy, but if Evans doesn't stick in Tampa because they're going a different direction and they're on the edge of maybe blowing that up a little bit, yeah, man, I think he can be somebody's Cooper Kupp. But if you're talking one season and I have a quarterback like, for instance, Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's kind of a boomer bust year. We're trying to go all in.
I think Josh Allen's going to give A.J. Brown the ball, and I know he had 1,000 yards last year, but his big problem is Jalen Hurts kind of sucks.
Yeah, he had issues with Stephon Diggs. Was that a Stephon Diggs thing or a Josh Allen thing? Because they hated each other at the end of that run.
But that was the end of the run.
Yeah.
I'm saying if this is
honeymoon phase for a year, it lasts
if
for
it's
a year.
a 1 year thing and you get A.J. Brown 92 catches for 1,100 yards, A.J. Brown's going to perform and be good. You just won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, no doubt. He was good in that run. Even though he was a distraction at times, they still were able to overcome it and win. And he made a random author become the #1 bestseller on the New York Times list for a couple of months.
Like, you have to look around the NFL. Who is the team that has a one that needs an Evans-like type?
It's a good question we can ponder in the break.
Because Tyreek is not it for me. Like, I know what teams are going to line up for him.
Yeah.
I'm out on that.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with it personally. I wouldn't want my team anything to do with it. Evans, absolutely good roll of the dice. That's a great locker room guy, a good team leader guy. He's had an amazing career, Hall of Fame career.
1,000 yards every year.
Worth it if you already have a solid one. And A.J. Brown, to me, would be worth the gamble if it's a one-season situation and all it's going to cost you is maybe a fourth, especially if you know you can get out of it. If it doesn't work, yeah, I'd try that.
I think I lean in your direction as well. If you need a wide receiver, your team needs a wide receiver, what door are you opening on that one? We'll answer some of those on the other side. Also, a rule change that is going to change the way we watch a sport. And do we like this? We'll get to that coming up next on The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
This is a smashing.
Almost not fair what he's done here for the rest of the field.
Goal for Team Germany. And for the second games in a row, it's gold, silver, and bronze to Team Germany in two-man bob.
Yeah, it's NBC Sports there. How about laying wood? Germany wins gold in two-man bobsled. 3 German teams dominated the two-man bobsled event. They swept the gold, silver, and bronze medal, marking the second straight Winter Olympics where Germany has swept the podium in two-man bobsled. You do not F with Germany in two-man bobsled.
Two-man bob, you avoid them like the plague. Also, Sidney Crosby just linked to the locker room, and Canada's still losing in the second period.
Two-man bob is tough to deal with. Who's laying wood? Germany in the Olympics in two-man bobsled. Laying Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, and special orders. You can visit them at Southeast Stark Street. Great customer service. Or you can go online at mrplywoodinc.com.
All right, our footy expert, Patty Football Patty, Timber Patrick, going to join us coming up top of the hour.
Timbers fan.
Couple thoughts came in at the fan text line, 503-864-6326. Somebody saying Steelers traded for DK. They would still tell you they probably need another wide receiver. That's part of the problem with DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
What else we got here?
How much of that, too? Like, I like DK Metcalf. I also understand, at times he has those random games. You're like, what's going on there? But how much of that was the offense? And I thought quarterback had old-looking moments.
You got to be fair in all of this. It's not just on the individual player. He was a bit of a headache in Seattle, but the numbers were always solid. And then he'd get into a punching match with a DB randomly in the third quarter and get ejected from the game. Other guys that we haven't mentioned in this conversation too, Pickens being available, a guy who's been known.
I thought he was getting tagged. I thought that was reported.
Has that been reported officially?
Okay, him.
I didn't know if that was.
He's been tagged, but I think the report was they were going to.
I mean, it would make sense to hold on. I know his season ended terribly with some low effort plays and some of the stuff that plagued him when he was in Pittsburgh reared its ugly head. But on the whole, that ended up being a good upside play for Dallas, and so I would certainly understand them keeping him around. And I would argue tagging him is probably the right move. Deebo Samuel's a guy who might be available. And the world-famous Brandon Ayuk, who has not played a football game in a year and a half, is
talk about ruining your
going
own
to be
career.
available.
Have fun.
Because the Niners, he ain't ever playing another game for the Niners.
All-time bad moment by them. And part of teams like the Niners who have been close but no cigar is just bad decision-making in contracts.
Yeah, that's
should have let him go to Pittsburgh.
Just trade him, get whatever you're going to get, and move on.
See you later. Hargrave a couple years ago from the Eagles clearly wasn't the answer at DT for them. They just don't always make the most sound signings, which is the criticism of John Lynch. Whereas teams like Seattle, when they win the Super Bowl, it's, hey, man, we're going to go get DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's going to be perfect with Leonard Williams, and we're going to it's going to work.
It
does
dominate,
work.
Yeah.
So you gotta make the right decisions. For as out on Tyreek Hill as one could be, I will be fascinated to see who wants to step up and say, yeah, Brandon Ayuk still can play football.
Niners going to have to eat money and take essentially nothing in that trade.
He literally chose to not play football anymore, and I think you have to ask out loud, does he want to play football?
Yeah, I think it's a valid question. They were a playoff team this year, and he wanted nothing to do with it. Let me ask this. We could actually toss this to Patty Football, too, top of the hour, because he's also a fan of this sport. So baseball is implementing a challenge. We now have the ABS challenge system coming to Major League Baseball for balls and strikes that you can immediately, the pitcher or the hitter or I think the catcher has to initiate it, or the batter can immediately turn around and say challenge.
Now, how often do you get to do this?
So I don't know the answer. I think
that's going to extend the game.
Two to start the game, and as long as you keep getting it
you
right,
get an extended.
It doesn't count. It's no counties.
If it goes to extra innings, you can carry ones over. If you don't have one, you get one per extra inning.
They should eliminate it. If you've lost two, you shouldn't
get an extra one. I'm with you on that. It's going to change the way, though. There's a story out there. It's going to change the way that networks are broadcasting games locally and nationally. Because one of the most universal things in broadcasting baseball games is what? Is the strike zone with the pitch, and it shows you if it's a clear ball, it means it was a ball. If it was a filled-in white ball, it means it caught an angle of the strike zone. And there's now fear amongst Major League Baseball organizations that teams will use this in their dugout in real time before the next pitch is thrown to challenge the ball and strike call. So they are directing Major League Baseball broadcast partners, to essentially have the strike zone in the outline on the TV, but they will no longer air where you just watch the pitch and you have to gauge and guess for yourself at home. Was it a ball or a strike?
My understanding was only the batter, pitcher, or catcher can
That's it.
appeal.
But you can get somebody yelling from the dugout saying, hey, and then you turn around and say, challenge before the next pitch is thrown. Because there's no allotment of time in terms of pitch to pitch how long you have to challenge it.
Well, you still have the pitch clock, so
you still have that,
do it.
Sure. But you can step off and call timeout and then decide to challenge one if you want to. So they're not going to have the balls on the screen anymore when you watch baseball games.
So much like we see in the NFL, when an offense has a debatable catch, no catch, out of bounds, all that, and they sprint to the line, are we going to get a pitcher that just hurry pitches to get past to the next pitch?
They can't, because the batter still has up until 8 seconds
to step into the box.
And he's got to be looking at the pitcher.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
There's 15 or 20 when nobody's
I think it's 15-20 or 14-18.
It would just be hilarious to watch a pitcher run to the mound, just lob one in.
Come on.
Super high ball. Just go to the next one. 2-1 count. 2-1 count.
I was reading about this last night. I thought it was interesting that they're like the way we've watched baseball games forever is seeing the ball show up on the screen. Ooh, that was a ball. That was a strike. And you immediately judge good call, bad call.
Well, do you remember when they didn't? Because that wasn't always my life.
It was not always the case.
It used to just be see the replay of it and be like,
I think that was a strike. It might have been a ball. And now you just judge for yourself. Did it go through the box? Did it touch the box?
If you have a takeaway theme of this radio program, it is we're terrified of AI and I'm out. I am anti this. I'm not a fan. Don't do this. It's a mistake. Use the human element. It's a sport.
Balls
Nothing's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Ball strikes, human. That's no robots. I'm out.
We're out here calling balls and strikes.
I don't
man.
like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
No robots.
I need an umpire to hate. Who am I going to hate? A robot for being perfect? It's just not
true.
as fun, exciting. Like,
yeah.
Who's behind the mound tonight? Angel Hernandez. Who's behind the mound tonight? George Jetson's robot. Like, no, thank you. I'm out. I need a human to not like.
You need a villain. I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Umpires and refs can be villains.
It's great.
Robots are not the same villain because you can't really disagree with them because it's a robot.
Wait till this happens in the NBA. Scott Foster's going to be out of a job. Now we're not going to talk about Scott Foster.
Saw a video of some Chinese robots doing acrobats and flips the other day. Like those guys are heading for NBA refs near you soon.
Oh, thank you.
Running up and down the floor.
No, thank you.
Beep that.
I'm
out. Lots to get to in the final hour. Status story coming up at 9:15. Let's start, though, with Patty football. Our friend, your friend, everybody's friend. Kicks off the final hour next on 105.1 FM The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. Great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the Fan, the NFL offseason is off and running. Kansas City Chiefs have reportedly restructured Patrick Mahomes' contract to convert $54+ million of salary to a signing bonus. That'll create an extra $43 million of cap space this season. 49ers going to be spending a lot of 2026 in airplanes, already named to the Australia game as the opponent for the LA Rams. It was announced this morning San Francisco serving as the home team for the Mexico City game in 2026. Quarterfinal action in the men's Olympic ice hockey tournament. Nathan McKinnon with a power play goal in the second period has knotted things up for Canada with Czechia. Coming up this afternoon at 12:10, the United States will take on Sweden. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of primetime. On the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM. The Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Hope your Wednesdays are off to a good start. We got Statter Story coming up. In 12 minutes from now, I've made a choice. I feel like a lot of times my stories get kind of gross and dark and talk about poop. It's not happy and uplifting, and I have found a very uplifting story today.
Oh, you're looking for an uplifting
for my
story.
portion. I'm trying to cheer people up.
Okay.
Be a beacon of hope.
Maybe I'll pivot out of mine then.
A ray of sunshine.
Because mine was another, of course. Of course.
Look, there's a lot of bad news out there, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Sometimes you need an uplift. I'm going to try and lift you up today.
I do need an uplift.
Get on my shoulder, Sprague.
You know what would give me an uplift?
What would you give me an uplift?
Patty football.
I was listening to the boys this morning.
Let's get to him. Patty Footballs, we know him. He's our mascot. He runs around the building wearing Timbers gear. It happens. He's got the whole head on. He's got a chainsaw. He's chopping logs outside before his show starts.
Yeah.
And he's not doing his show today. You know why he's not doing his show today? It's Timbers Media Day.
I know.
He's going to cover it. And so Patrick Harris joining us now, the new host of Timbers Fan every Tuesday. I know we got some things to kink out there, but we'll unwrap the kinks. Don't worry.
Where can I find the episode?
Don't worry about it. We'll get to it next week.
Come stream it.
Patrick Harris, good morning. How excited are we for Timbers Media Day? Do we have you?
No, I don't think we do. He's not there. We can't even get our own coworkers on the air. What is going on?
That might have been the most.
Can we talk about
that? Might have been the most perfect thing, Odyssey, all time. From the idea of where
we're trying to do.
Where is the podcast available from last night? I don't know. Don't worry about it.
It's not online.
We'll figure it out.
I couldn't stream it.
Well, don't worry.
It's not on 105 because we had Ducks basketball. 1080, unless you have AM radio, could not be streamed on the Odyssey app. And I can't find the podcast on our website. I text him. I'm like, where is it?
Hello, Patrick. Do you read me?
I do read you. Do you read me?
We got you. Did you hear anything I said, or were you just in the dark?
Dude, here's the best part. I heard absolutely everything.
Oh, okay. So you're there.
You're like, hey, man, what's up? And I'm like, hey, dude, how's it going? And then you guys are like, this place sucks.
Well, Swag is over here texting his side pieces.
Yeah, he's over,
not paying attention. I have no idea what's going on. His heads are falling off.
All right, let's get back to it. Square one. Everybody just act like that first 4 minutes of the segment didn't happen. Patrick Harris joining us now, the host of Timbers Fan every Tuesday.
Hi,
made his
friend.
debut. Good morning. Are you excited for Timbers Media Day?
Yeah, I am really excited, Dirt. Like, this is a really rad thing for the station as a whole, and I feel very, very pretty lucky to be a part of it. It's, I kind of mentioned this last night on the show. Like, I was born in Spokane and I moved here in 97. So, like, my sports teams are all over the place. Like, I'm a Cleveland Guardians fan, and I grew up a Pacer fan. And so and I was a San Diego Charger fan for a while as a kid. And the Timbers have always been, like, my home team. And now being a part of it from a media standpoint, mixed in with what I've been as a fan, is a pretty dope ride.
Now, we've known you a little bit here, and I don't know if I can read this properly. We were talking earlier about sitting in the sections at sporting events where the fans are the rowdiest, the loudest, the smoke bomb, the Timbers Army that's like chanting and singing the whole game. I am not one of these. I am the casual Diet Coke drinking guy on the opposite side, clapping casually like I'm at a golf match and hoping my team wins. Are you in the Timbers Army chanting and singing, or are you not that type of a fan?
The last time I was in the Timbers Army was a playoff game against Vancouver in 2015 with Mike Lynch. We won the Cup that year. That was a really, really fun experience, and I've never been back. Does that tell you what you need to know?
Okay. Yeah, that kind of answers it.
I like to sit TV side. So you know how you get used to kind of watching sports a certain way?
Yes.
I like to sit on the west side of the stadium, kind of as close to center line as I can, and watch the game as if I'm watching on TV. Okay. Then I got the Timbers Army to my left.
Yep.
And I can watch them do their awesomeness and be like, yeah, go you guys, and then watch the game.
Yeah, I'm an East Side till I die guy.
That's an interesting point that I've never really thought about, is watching games from the perspective of the stadium where the cameras are at. Because I'm also, I don't think about it like consciously, but it is different when you're on the opposite side than you normally watch. Because how many games do you actually go to, right? Like when I go to an Oregon game and I sit in the press box, you're right where the cameras are at. So you're watching from the same angle that's on TV. And anytime I'm on the other side of the stadium, it is uniquely different.
Well, if you go to a Blazer game, do you think about the camera side?
I do.
Really?
I do.
I
yeah.
never do.
Because I know where the cameras are and what side of the floor it shoots, and we all know. Like,
why does that matter?
I guess basketball.
Why does it mean you're there? You're seeing all the
I don't
action.
know. I've never thought about it, to be honest. So Patrick just said it, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of like sitting on the side of the cameras, too. You kind of blew my mind with that one.
It's like sitting in left field at a baseball game, and some guy next to you like, what are you talking about? That was way inside, ref. And it's like, bro, we are 375 feet away from this.
That was a ball.
Right.
That was a strike.
I can tell you maybe up or down, but like left and right, bro. Like, are you kidding me right now?
No chance. They'd yell it at the umpire 400 feet away. What is the outlook of this year's team? You know, we're not quite as glued to it. We're going to be a little more tuned in, if you will, this year due to the partnership. But I know, look, it's been a team that seemingly gets off to slow starts every year, finds its groove. Fans complain, and then you look up and you're like, all right, they're back in the playoffs and probably going to win a series or make some noise. They had a really hard time scoring goals last year. Have they solved that? And what is the outlook from our Patty football on this year's Timber squad?
This year's going to be a wild one. So last year was kind of bucked the trend. At the beginning of the season, they scored a ton of goals, and then all of a sudden could not. So that's a weird thing that kind of flipped from normal, because you're right. Usually in Timbers' life, no matter who's the manager, no matter who's the player, it's like a slow start scoring goals. The big reality here for this team is a little bit of health in David DaCosta. He's got to be healthy this year. But there's some new additions in the midfield. Cole Bassett comes over from Colorado. Christopher Velda, who we interviewed yesterday on Timbers Fan, he will be here for a full season. He came in at the transfer deadline last year and only played like 8 games, something like that. So the attacking options should be there for more goals. It just kind of, can these guys figure it out and be fluid? Because I say this about teams in any sport. The Timbers are in a dangerous spot right now of being mediocre. And it is very hard to fix things when you're mediocre. Now, the MLS is not like the NFL, where if you suck real bad and you get the top draft pick, or the NHL, that's going to change your life. There's no Connor McDavid in the MLS draft. They're kids that still need to be developed. So living in a mediocrity world is really difficult to navigate. So this team is either going to take, in my opinion, a step forward and make a playoff run. You know, maybe a top 4 seed is best case scenario. Worst case scenario, the offense can't figure it out, goes backwards, and some serious questions are going to be asked.
So I know you said you're still doing research on the opening opponent of Columbus, the Crew, the mighty Crew.
Remember when we beat them in the title? I remember that game well.
We row Crew.
2015.
That's right.
Is their schedule on paper, like, is it a bit of a doozy for those that are not as in the weeds? Like, does it seem like a schedule on paper might be a little easier to start their season or a little bit of a difficult one given everything that they're kind of facing as they go into the season?
I think it's tough because like there can be so much turnover, and sometimes one player added to a team can change the whole dynamic. Like LAFC is a good team. When they add Sun Hung Min, like it changes everything all over again. Minnesota, an team, but if James Rodriguez comes in and can be the James of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich days, then yeah, they can be really good. Vancouver had an amazing season last year, but it's hard to retain that. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I will share something with you guys that I think is funny going into this Columbus Crew game. Columbus has 3 MLS Cups, okay? They've won 3 of them. They have famously lost to us in 2015. Do you know who their owner is?
Kirk Herbstreit.
Their owner is Jimmy Haslam.
Really?
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
So he knows what he's doing in some sports.
So if you want to know the weirdness of owners, that's it right there. My NFL team, that's worth billions of dollars, I refuse to do anything for. But my little soccer team, we're dope.
He's in the wrong football then. The football he's better at is the MLS.
Now, before we let you go, we do need to settle something because a listener, and I think we have actually talked about this off the air before, but a listener reminding us that you're not a fan of the name Patty. You don't like going by Patty.
But Patty football is an elite
Patty
nickname.
football is a good nickname. Is that
nickname.
okay? Are we allowed to call you that? Are you upset with us? What do you feel about the nickname?
You can. I don't like Patty, Patty.
Yeah, the DD.
But if you want a DD, I'll live in the DD.
He likes the D.
Paddy football. So you got to be hard D.
Now, let's do this.
Okay, hard D.
We were talking about food around Providence / the food in Providence.
Mm-hmm.
What is Patty Football's top 5 in-game food choices?
What's funny is today at 12:30, we're actually going to be tasting all the new food.
That's the best part about media days, dude. That is the
new
number
treats?
one media day thing is you get to taste all the new food at the
You
stadium.
like sliders? I love sliders.
I hate to do this to you, but what do you eat food at the stadium? If I eat food, it prevents me from drinking.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't eat like peanut M&Ms?
I think his favorite food at the stadium is an
licorice?
11% IPA. Am I right on that?
More like 6.5. But yeah, somewhere in those lines.
He wants to build to his drunkenness. He doesn't want to instantly be drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so good. Anybody we're really looking forward to talking to today at Media Day?
I mean, I'm just kind of interested to hear from Neville and Ned Grabavoy, the GM, just kind of, a little State of the Union kind of chat with us and let us know what the season looks like. I'll be there. I'm sure I'll run into some people I know. I know Tyson Alger will be there, good friend of the station and the program as well. So it'll be nice to say hi to him. And I'm just kind of stoked to just represent the fan and kind of tell him that we're here to hang out and be supportive and be a part of the crew.
How are you dressed? Are you in a suit and tie like some of the overlords demand when
Do we
you
have
go
any
to sporting
fan
events?
gear? Do we have a fan hat on? Do we give you a fan polo for this?
Dirt was once referenced in an email as dumpy, and I was once referenced as urban. So I'm curious if those same overlords.
What does that mean? Huh?
Is that because you have tattoos?
Yeah.
I didn't have tattoos at the moment. I
think
just
it was
wore
his
slightly
fake
bigger
earrings.
clothes and
Yeah.
fake earrings, so that's what they labeled me as in emails. I'm curious if anybody's talked to you about your wardrobe. You better be dressed appropriately, Patrick.
Well, the wife, of course, addressed me about my wardrobe. I have some nice cotton trousers on, a quarter zip vest, quarter zip sweater, and a Wazoo hat on.
Oh, you're wearing a Wazoo hat.
Yeah, go Cougs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
I
you
don't
can wear
own any fan.
Yeah.
I don't own any fan gear.
You can't wear the team gear to Media Day. That's a weird look.
Well, no, you can just
I actually,
like Bill Orm's going to be there, I assume. Bill Orm's probably going to be in a Pendleton jacket with
Yeah.
some kind of button up and
Getting ready to go cut down
khakis.
another Christmas tree.
Yeah, exactly.
and I have a nice blue rain jacket because it's probably going to sprinkle on us.
Could sprinkle a little bit today. This is why we love him. He's the best. Patty Football, who will not be. Make sure it's a hard D, by the way, when we use a nickname. Hard D.
Patty.
Paddy.
Hard double D.
Hard double D. We love a good double D. He will not be on his show today because he is over at Timbers Media Day. His show debuted last night. I know there's some kinks we got to work out, but it will hopefully be available on all the platforms, and all the platforms are starting next week. But last night was the debut at Timbers Fan. It'll be every Tuesday, 7 to 8, and their season kicks off this weekend.
Well, I was really just happy for him because he legitimately has been a Timbers fan the entire time he's been
dude.
at the Fan. We obviously have the partnership now, but I wanted to pub the show. I tried to listen last night. That was a little more difficult than I thought it would be, and I'm going to look forward to catching the show next week.
It was a soft launch next week, hard launch. Now we start
the
hard
Double
launch.
D starts next
Double
week.
D starts next week. Have a great time today, Patty Football, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
There you go, Patrick Harris of the firm.
Him not playing the food game is disappointing. I got to be honest with you. How do you not play the snacks game?
Yeah, I'm curious what
I
their
don't
new
eat it games. Okay.
You know who will
Have
play
you
that
ever?
game? Text Tyson. Tyson will play that game. He goes to games. He'll tell you what the food samples
Well, like,
are
do you
today.
dive into bad foods? Are you like my stomach kind of hurts because I had licorice and peanut M&Ms?
No, I'm not a big bad food guy at sporting events.
Are you a hot dog guy? Are you a no food guy? Are you
I'm
a pregame
kind of a basic bitch, to be honest with you. Like, if I go to a sporting event, I'm either getting a hot dog, well, multiple hot dogs, chicken tenders with fries. Like, give me something
The closest
simple.
concession stand where our section is when I go with my buddies is right by the pizza. They've got
I'll eat pizza at a game. Pizza's
a
easy.
solid, easy thing to
It's
get.
easy. You grab it. You got 4 bites and you fold it up like a sandwich. That's
usually what I get at a Blazer game.
That's
I'll
a good
get one of the
go-to.
pizza spots.
I'm not a super when they do the new exotic food options, I'm always intrigued. I love playing the fun game of would you eat it, and if it was in front of me, I would certainly try it.
Here's the problem.
But I'm not grabbing the exotic thing.
Unless you got like club level, I'm not a big take the box because you got kind of a decent sized meal,
That's
and
right,
now
yeah.
your lap is the table.
That's why hot dogs
now
are
the
great,
box
dude.
is bending weird. I'm a hot dog pizza guy because it's just an
hot dog,
easy
pizza,
grab.
a pretzel.
Yes.
Pretzel, yeah. If you get 2 hot dogs, they come wrapped. You're wearing a sweatshirt, dude. You slide those things right in your sweatshirt pocket.
Well, you get like one of the burger joints. It's like fries and burgers, and then you have to undo that shaky ass box. You got a guy going crazy next to you. Now your elbows are kind of tucked.
And the burger's massive to begin
the
with.
burger's
so
massive.
It's spilling. You
but
got to
now
have the
your
box
legs
there.
are bent so you can keep the table going for the fries and the box. I'm just
yeah.
Give me
simple.
the grab and go.
Keep it
It's a
simple.
grab and go situation.
Let's get to Stat or Story every Wednesday, 9:15. That is next on the Fan.
crunch the numbers?
There's 6,127 students at Adams, 58% of which are girls. So that's 7,107.32 boobs.
Break the news.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Is it a stat or a story?
Evidence based on olfactory prowess is inadmissible, in case you didn't know.
This is Stat or Story, a monumental judgment call with Dirt and Sprague. Brought to you by Pioneer Heating and Cooling, locally owned and championship service since 1977 on the Fan Sports Network.
All right, welcome back in Saturday Story Time. I got a question at the bottom of the hour that was sparked by young lowercase CJ, who's getting ready for the firm out there. He's got something on that I want to ask a question about. So we'll get to that coming up in a few moments.
Young Casey has a little bit of a young Sprague vibe.
But
also, he's a real rapper. I never was a rapper.
He's an actual rapper?
That's why they call him lowercase. That was his rap name.
He actually raps? Are there songs that I can listen to? Is there a SoundCloud anywhere?
He has actual songs.
Is it on, like, a streaming site? Can I go find it?
Look, I'm not going to give him any grief.
I want to know.
It takes a lot of courage to rap on a mic. If he has an actual song, we'll play it as a rejoiner on our...
Dude, one of the most iconic moments on this nice little radio station in the last couple of years when we had the sing-off between Harris and Jordan Schultz. We had a croon-off on our airwaves. Remember that?
Give you a hot take. I missed that.
Oh, I didn't. I was glued to it.
Was it good?
It was great. They both, Schultze's got a good voice.
Who won?
We know that. Schultze beat Harris.
Schultze beat Harris?
But Harris has a great voice.
Okay. What are you freaking out over?
He's very angry today.
Very
I don't
angry.
Would you like to go first, Swigard?
Sure.
Okay, fire away.
Also, shout out Pioneer Heating and Cooling.
Our new sponsor.
Of
Statter Story.
Of Statter Story.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to do it now. I'll do it at the end of the segment. You pay it off.
Of course.
That's how we roll out here, baby.
Your number is 53.
53.
Is it the total number of goals scored by the U.S. women's Olympic hockey teams for both the United States and Canada that will square off for the gold medal tomorrow? Or is it the number of restaurants participating in Portland Dumpling Week going on right
This
now?
is a story.
You seem like you know a thing or two about dumplings, even though following you is a bad idea.
My wife and I actually don't like dumplings.
Dude, can I? Yeah.
Overrated food item. Shouldn't have a food week. Hot take. But support local businesses. I have no clue. I'm guessing. I don't want to lead you down a bad road. I've been terrible at this game, but give me story, Bob.
I mean, I'll go story 2. I had a dumpling restaurant just open up nearby, and it was like a big space, and I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see what they put in there, and it ended up being a dumpling restaurant, and I haven't been in, to be fair. I will try it at some point, but of like all the things that could have gone in here within walkable distance of the house, I didn't want it to be a dumpling restaurant.
I'll eat the other food on the menu. No,
They got other stuff available. Yeah, I'll double up. Give me story. Hey, look at that.
That is correct. 48 goals, 31 for the United States, 17 for Canada. They will face off tomorrow just after 10 a.m. for the gold medal. No, Dumpling Week. 53 different restaurants are participating this week, and it's a whole variety. I know you think usually Asian-themed, but it spans anything basically that's a dough.
Yeah, you can make anything a dumpling.
Wrapped up. So we have some Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
We've got the 4 supporting the restaurants that are kind of undertaking the whole process. Sherpa Kitchen. They've got the Chicken Joy Momo. So chicken momo served with classic tomato and toasted sesame, fresh herbs, and mild spice sauce.
There you go.
Tango Crab Chinese restaurant on Capitol Highway. They're featuring the Chinese Lucky Money Bag. And they have both with meat or vegetarian options. Porque No on Mississippi Avenue. So they have more of a empanada type of situation.
I'm a fan of that.
Hamburger empanada for $10. So stuffed with seasoned ground beef, melted queso Oaxaca. Excuse me. Roasted jalapeno, habanero, and salsa.
Think about how spicy that is, aren't you?
It was
Oaxaca will do it to you, dude.
Chipotle crema. And then Poke Bowl on Southeast Water Avenue down there in Portland. and they've got a Sichuan-style duck wonton. So all of the featured dumpling items are $14 or less.
I'm going to ask the dumpling fans out there, as a non-dumpling fan, is there one? Because I'm not that experienced in the dumpling world. I've not tasted that many different kinds. Like, what's the one that I would go to that would warm me up to the dumpling?
I think one of those he just listed.
would
Like
care,
a
'cause
Mexican dumpling is something I would be all in on trying.
Sounds like it'd be pretty good.
Now, I have this with egg rolls. My mother-in-law makes delicious egg rolls.
God, I love egg rolls.
I still have not done it, but I want to do it. I want to make breakfast egg rolls.
Ooh.
So some cheesy scrambled eggs with sausage, bacon bits in it, maybe a little bit of hash brown. You roll it up, you deep fry it. I feel like that would be an amazing egg roll.
I'm trying it. I'm giving it a shot.
I didn't grow up with my dad, so I didn't get to meet his mom. She tragically passed away from cancer, F cancer. One of the first holidays I ever spent with him at his house with my brothers, they were like, hey, it's my mom's dumpling recipe. It's been handed down for a long time.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
You took one bite.
It was
like,
controversial.
No,
I took a bite. I was like, this is gross. And they're like,
dude,
what? It's like
you can go to
rip-roaring start.
I love the non-filtered nature of you. Instead of just eating it and being like, yeah, whatever, it's
Dude,
fine.
I spit it out. This is disgusting.
You couldn't even finish it.
It's gross.
This is terrible.
Dumplingweek.com has all of the restaurants on their featured dumpling listing.
All right, fire away, Sprague.
Your number, 114.
114.
114.
114.
Is it the offensive numbers for your Portland Trailblazers points per 100 possessions?
All right.
Or is it the combined age of a couple in Florida that got into a fist fight during pickleball?
Offensive ratings in the NBA, you know I'm terrible with. I'm going to go story. Give me story here.
Story, okay.
Couple of middle-aged, not happy in life. Like, middle-aged people play pickleball because it's all they can do physically, and they act like it's a very demanding sport, and even though it should be abolished. Give me story.
All right.
I think I'm going stat. That sounds about right. I think the combined age might be over. I think you might have a couple of 70-year-olds just,
haymakers.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, in order
Fake
for Dirt
teeth falling out.
and Swag. Now, Swag, you're not really that wrong. They're 20th in the league in offense, according to Cleaning the Glass, in points per 100 possessions. They're at 114.5. Now, I thought you guys would choose story because of the decimal stuff. There are a couple teams at even flat numbers, but the Blazers are at 114.5, puts them 20th in the association. Yes, this story out of Port Orange, Florida, a dispute over a rule led to a brawl during a pickleball game in Central Florida Country Club, with one player hitting his opponent in the face with a paddle and punching him on the ground before others got involved. A 63-year-old man was charged Sunday with 2 counts of felony battery on a person 65 or older. His 51-year-old wife then joined in the fight during the dispute, all over losing in a rule argument against another married couple during a pickleball match.
That'll happen.
They argued about the rule over a shot that was made in what is known as the kitchen, a marked area near the net.
You know, they said, get out of my kitchen.
As many as 20 players became involved in this brawl in Port Orange between a 60-year-old and 50-year-old.
That's good.
Unbelievable.
That is fantastic. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, your number, last but not least, for the Great Statter Story segment is 56. 5-6. Is it the number of points scored for one Scoot Henderson since total points
gotcha.
since returning
All right.
from injury,
All right.
56? Or is it the net worth, and I hope I don't butcher this name because it's a really good story, Kunal Nayyar, who was the Middle Eastern guy on The Big Bang Theory, the actor?
Dude, I saw this. I don't know the number, but I saw this story. This is a
His
great
net
uplifting
worth,
story.
who it basically says in his downtime what he does is scroll through GoFundMe at night
For medical
and just
bills.
anonymously pay off people's medical debt.
56
$1 million, sorry, net
million?
worth. 56 million or
I hope
56
he's got
points
royalties in that
for
contract.
Scoot. I'm imagining he does. He was at one point one of the highest paid actors in all of TV. They were making over $1 million an episode towards the end of that show.
They were up there in Friends category.
Wasn't a consistent watch for the show. It's a fine rewatch. I loved him in it, and I saw this story and was like, this is what I would do if I was super
Without
loaded.
a doubt, man.
Just anonymously cover medical bills for people, and you're like, oh, it's only $8,000. Here you go.
That's all you need, really?
56. I'm going to say this is Story.
Story.
Scoot scored a little bit more than
I
that.
did too.
I will say Story as well.
Yeah.
Okay, through 4 games. It is a stat. Scoot Henderson on the year through 4 games has scored a total of 56 points this season. Good for a 14-point per game average through 4 games early on since returning. I think that Kunal Nayyar, I think is how you say his name. Again, he was a Middle Eastern actor on The Big Bang Theory, and his net worth is $45 million. And there was an article that came out in Variety this week, because this has been in the news. James Vanderbeek, after passing away, I think his family set up a GoFundMe. He famously had to sell off all of his Dawson's Creek stuff because of his cancer treatments that he was going through.
That's becoming an odd story.
Is it really?
They owe the IRS a ton of money. He, I guess, like 2 days before his passing, purchased the ranch for $4.7 million.
Oh. What ranch are we talking about?
The one they were staying at. They were renting that, and then
he bought the ranch?
Unless I'm wrong.
Okay.
I thought I read, like, they owed the IRS a bunch of stuff, and
maybe there's a way they're trying to get out of it knowing he was going to pass away, and the debt
I
would
get
go
really
away.
uncomfortable with this when people die and you find out some stuff that wasn't known initially, and it's
not
kind of
great.
odd, and you're like, ah.
It's not great.
You know.
Let's focus on the positive of this story.
There you go.
Let's uplift people.
Yes.
You want to lift you on my wings here? He said, money has given me greater freedom, and the greatest gift is the ability to give back. We also support animal charities because we love dogs. But what I really love to do is I go on GoFundMe at night and just pay random people and random families medical bills.
Good for you.
That's my mask vigilante thing. So no, money doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like a grace from the universe. And I think a lot of us thought, like, dude, if you had $45 million net worth, you're easily fine. You're making royalties the rest of your life. The money's never going to run out. You're always going to get paid for that show. So yeah, dude, what the hell? You scrolling around, you need 20 grand? Here you go with 20 grand for me. I got a lot of money in the bank. Really cool.
I do love the assumption of we all think we would do this. Are we watching how the world is currently
we
being
would not
run?
all do this. That was more of a, like, if you gave me that amount of money, this would be a really cool thing to do. And it also highlights the ridiculous nature of the fact that we have to pay off people's medical debts via actors anonymously donating through GoFundMe.
How come these people are not leading everything?
It's a lot of money in their bank accounts. They could easily do this. Did you know that Saturday Story is brought to you by Pioneer Heating and Cooling, locally owned and championship service since 1977, and the Pioneer is a carrier-authorized retailer. We love our friends at Pioneer. New sponsor, Status Story every Wednesday at 9:15. What do you make of this fashion faux pas? Is it something that you would do next? But first, here's for us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan. Congratulations, Michaela Schifrin, ending an 8-year Olympic medal drought. Dominated the women's slalom this morning, winning gold. Other American medal winners, the men's team sprint cross-country squad earning silver. And in men's slopestyle snowboarding, Jake Cantor with a bronze. It is 2-2 Canada, Czechia early in the third period.
Happy Black History Month. How about this? Dr. Juan Gilbert, in response to legislation promoting voting accessibility, invented Prime 3, a universally designed touchscreen accessible voting system that any voter can use regardless of mobility, vision, or hearing impairments. His technology is the first of its kind to be used in elections at all levels of government.
That's really cool. Not many things I know about rich people. I do know that they love cocaine, and another story of proving that. They have been testing the island sewer system off of Nantucket for their wastewater. And in testing the wastewater and the monitoring program, it has identified one consistent outlier: a lot of cocaine. Over the period, the island's cocaine markers have routinely exceeded the national and regional averages, including 2 spikes in October and December. They were nearly 3 times the national average, and this can also come, and the levels can be higher when you drink alcohol while using cocaine because your body doesn't break it down as much as it should.
Who needs coffee when you drink your water?
A lot of cocaine in the water on Nantucket.
More Olympic Black History Month and cocaine stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday.
All right, a lot of lingering questions on young CJ's rapping career.
Oh, I'm seeing the outfit now. We got a red Yankee hat and
this
a
is what I wanna ask
blazer
about.
with the headphones. He's about to go drop some bars right now.
Looks like he's ready to step into the booth.
Look at
hears
him.
the
He doesn't
snu-
want to look over here, but he keeps like,
he knows we're talking about him.
He
He
knows.
needs a little more
Yeah.
snare in his headphones.
knows.
He's got bars ready to go. But I walked out during the break. I was filling up my water.
Yeah.
And I take a glance over, and he's getting ready to do the Firma Harrison meringue.
Mm-hmm.
And I take a glance, and you mentioned something there. There's always been an interesting sports fandom apparel equipment wearing thing for me, and that is the idea of a team that you root for and wearing a hat of theirs that's not the color of the team. Because he's wearing a
So
Yankees
he's a
hat.
Yankee fan.
He is a Yankee fan.
And he's wearing the red Yankee
He's
with
wearing
the white
a
and
red Yankee hat.
Yeah.
And the Yankees are probably one of the most popular of this genre. Like, you see Yankee hats of all different
I have
colors.
a Yankee hat, and I hate the
Sure,
Yankees.
you're not even a Yankee
No,
fan
I hate
because
the
it's a
Yankees.
fashion statement. Now, he is actually – now, it's okay for you because you don't care about the Yankees, right?
Sure.
You just wanted a red hat or whatever color it
The
is.
NY is elite.
It's an
You
elite
have to
logo.
admit it's elite.
The idea, though, of wearing something team-related that's a different color has always been really funny to me, and I don't know if I would ever buy something like that. Like, if I could buy a blue Oregon Duck hat,
You're
I would
a
never do
fuddy-duddy
that.
on this, though.
I would never wear a blue Oregon hat.
You don't know. Do you own any Oregon gear that isn't green and yellow?
I have gray and tan.
You do?
I do. I have a tan sweatshirt and I have a gray sweatshirt with the old mascot.
So I'm trying to think of the Blazers here.
I mean, it's akin to wearing a pinwheel hat that is a turquoise color.
I dabble in this.
Do you?
Yeah, I can't deny this. In fact, I almost bought last night. I don't know how, but they got me on an email. Hey, our spring training collection.
Dude, I actually
there's some sweet ass spring training.
I saw
stuff
the
out.
Giant spring training hats yesterday, and
They
I
got these
thought about
flowers
buying
around
them. It's
them
coming off
and-
of the logo. It
Yeah.
looks really cool. I
You
saw the
almost
same
bought
thing.
that? I almost bought it. I have it in a bag right now.
It's in my cart.
It's in the cart.
Well, then they have all the St. Patrick's Day stuff.
I
That's
saw
all done
that
in green,
too.
too.
See, that's another good example of this. Would you wear a green Braves hat?
I think I would if it's
Ah.
St. Patty's edition.
Would you?
Now,
I'm
is
not-
there a four-leaf clover somewhere
Yeah, I
on it
think
that
there's
kind
like
of
a-
identifies this is
Well,
for?
obviously, yeah. I mean, it's for the St. Patrick's Day. I think they do the same thing for the 4th of July. I think
Well,
everybody wears the red, white, and blue
So
baseball hats.
one hat I have in the cart is it's because my head is a weird small size. Like I can't do a 7. I can't do a 7 and an 1/8, but a 7 1/4 is too big. And then I don't have forehead, so like it's a weird fit on me. I have to do dad hats now. I have a dad hat in my cart, but it's the Brave Day of the Dead hat. It looks effing sweet.
It was a Atlanta Braves Day of the Dead hat?
Yeah, and so it's a different kind of logo with the Braves in it, and it's a dad hat. And I have it in my cart.
Okay.
But there's non-Brave colors on it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually against you on this.
Okay.
I don't fault it
I'm
at all.
I'm the fuddy-duddy here.
The red Yankee hat's pretty sweet.
I mean, it's an iconic hat.
Yeah,
It's-
but I get what you're saying.
When you think of the red Yankee hat, what do you think of first?
9/11?
Really?
Fireman hat? I don't know. Thank you.
Isn't that the hat that Fred Durst used to always wear? Wasn't he a red Yankee hat guy?
Oh, he
Back in
was.
the day with Limp Bizkit, and he always wore it backwards?
He always did it for the...
Was it a red?
For the cookie.
Now, the hat was backwards. I'm assuming it was a Yankee hat?
because my cousin bought it.
For Fred Durst? For that
Yeah,
reason?
literally
Yeah.
became a Limp Bizkit huge fan.
You
He
wanna go
bought
break
the
something
Fred Durst
today?
hat. Yeah, and he wore it every day religiously.
It's all he
every
ever
day.
wore was a red Yankee hat.
You're right. That
backwards.
is the Fred Durst
So that's
hat.
why it's like I get the history there, and I don't know. That's a weird one for me. I think the holiday one is a unique example because this isn't a holiday related. It's just a different colored hat, and they do sell them. Like you could go buy any color hat of any team.
The
you
Yankees
want.
have literally every colorway
They got
possible.
all of them. They got all of them.
But see, to me, it's not about that Yankee hat. He's a Yankee fan.
Yes.
It's not about the Yankees. Look at his entire outfit. I know this because I've lived this
He's
life.
matching the red with what else is on
He's
the
got
outfit.
the red and black Blazer jersey on. The red's a good accent to the red accent on the Blazer uni. He's got the black with the white coat. And I bet you his shoes have black and red on them somewhere, which would match from the head to the toe. And I know this because this was literally me for like 8 years at the Fan.
You got to match.
Now I just roll out of bed and I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't
whatever,
care
dude.
if I have red and green on the feet and black up top. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
But I lived this life. It's not about the Yankees. It's about the accent of the color of the hat.
I'm a fuddy-duddy. I acknowledge it. P1 Harley saying I admit to owning a Blazer carpet beanie, but the tag's still on it. I've not worn it.
Oh, just rock
Stay
it.
strong,
Harley,
Harley.
just rock it,
Return
dude.
that bitch. Get an actual red and black one like God intended, damn it.
We have an elite uniform
We
logo.
got a great logo and a great color scheme.
But if you got some sick
I'm not
alternate
gonna
option.
match his turquoise.
Like people do the camo versions of these.
They do. Camo's another big one, too.
Camo, like hunting camo, not army camo, really in right now.
Does lowercase CJ know who Fred Durst is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're a rapper, you're familiar with Fred Durst.
Okay.
He was pretty big in the early 2000s rap.
He did
rock
a song
scene.
with Method Man, famously.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay. Follow-up questions. We'll see. We'll get answers to them. And we'll wrap it up. Final segment for us on a Wednesday next on The Fan.
AM.
Hey, do you know the Front Row Card Show is back February 28th and March 1st at the Oregon Convention Center. 440 tables of cards, comics, collectibles, buy, sell, trade, and get your cards graded. Find great deals on sports memorabilia, autographs, and other collectibles. Tickets available now by texting CARDS, that's C-A-R-D-S, to 503-864-6326 for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to either Saturday or Sunday show. Find more information at frontrowcardshow.com. Let's go! People texting in Spike Lee. They think it's Spike Lee with the red hat, saying that Game 3 of the 96 World Series, Yankees-Braves, Spike Lee was wearing the red Yankee hat.
Okay.
Against your Braves, Sprague. So that's out there as well. If you want to get a look at lowercase CJ, he will be on the YouTube's feed here in about 10 minutes from now as the firm of Harris and Meringue is right around the corner. Sans Patrick, who was at Timbers Media Day, so it'll be a Danny solo show today. I just got to admit, pretty glued here, and it's going to be a fascinating couple of minutes because there is potentially a huge upset on the horizon. Now, long ways to go. Famous last words. Czechia and Canada are tied 2-2 with 9 minutes to go in the third period of the quarterfinals of the Olympics. Canada losing in the quarterfinals to Czechia would be shell-shocking.
What were they? Do you know what the odds were going into today? Like, what were they
They
on the
were
money
a
line?
minus on this game. Oh, minus.
No, I'm talking about this Czechia.
To win. Oh, Czechia? Right now, I just live bet them at plus 280, and we're 2-2 with 10 minutes to go in the third period, and they're nearly still a 3-1 underdog. So going into the game, I would be willing to bet money line you could have got plus 550, 600, somewhere in that range. Like, they're probably not going to win, but this would be...
You never know, man.
Canada losing this early would be bonkers. They were a minus money favorite to win the gold medal when the Olympics started.
What if Canada and America lose today?
God, that'd be wild.
Now, the ladies coming up
That's
tomorrow.
You get to watch that. They're already in, so you already get USA Canada round one.
We got to worry about that.
No, we were just hoping we get round 2 USA Canada
Yes.
men's, and we all assumed it would be coming up in the semis or the finals because they reseed in hockey when you get to the semifinals. But just glued to this, USA plays Sweden today. Swag's updates have said all morning they have not beaten Sweden since 1960.
Now, they've only played twice with NHL players.
Okay, so they're 0-2 with NHL players.
As we didn't get to it today.
Yeah.
What is the worst? Like, if you're a fan of one of these two teams, what hurts more? Finding out the owner told the head coach he could not hire somebody as a coordinator, or the general manager / president basically calling your superstar player a bum?
I'm going to go option 2.
That's worse for you?
I think that's worse for me.
Okay, now behind the curtain, option 1 is Woody Johnson allegedly would not let Aaron Glenn pick the DC he wanted to pick. Yes. Why? I don't know.
I hired you to be our DC. You're our guy. Isn't he supposed to be the DC?
Well, yeah, he wasn't allowed to. Right. And then option 2 is Dombrowski at the end of last season and Bryce Harper coming out and saying,
"Wild,
yeah, man, that hurt. That still hurts."
I've had a lot of baseball stuff kind of randomly in my notes. This is going to be fascinating to watch. 8 minutes to go. I can't look away. There's a Pirate prospect who everybody's raving as basically the Paul Skeens of hitters.
Yeah, he's like a 19-year-old shortstop.
19-year-old, and they're like, this guy's the next Willie Mays. He's the next, like, he's supposed to be that good. And everybody's like, please call him up immediately so the Pirates have a slight chance at doing anything this year. And then the Harper comments, oh, my God, they scored. They're up 3-2. They just scored.
I believe that was Andre Palat.
3-2 with 7:42 to go. The fighting Pastas might be knocking Canada out of the quarterfinals. But the comments of calling
you nerds out here, you're just going crazy right now.
This is a huge upset.
Huge.
Dirk got it almost 3-1.
I just live bet it right in the last commercial break. It was plus 280 to get them on the money line, and it's
Delicious.
a 2-2 game.
Delicious.
Now you got to hold on. They're going to unleash a firepower that you've never seen before.
So the Pirates
have a top prospect, and then the Philly comment calling the face of your franchise not elite anymore publicly. The hell are you doing? You can feel that way internally all you want, and he might even be right. I could argue the Phillies are past their prime, and they're going to be the same exact team this year that they were. Like, nothing has changed for them. So they're just another year older. That's it. So nothing. Like, I don't mind him having the opinion. You just don't say it out loud.
You don't say Bryce Harper is past his prime.
I think Joe Cronin's coming out being like, yeah, we're excited Dame's back, but we all know he's past his prime. What? No, our GM said it's winning time now, baby.
Did they call the Pioneer Square rally the past his prime rally?
Yes, that's exactly what they called him. Like, what are you doing? You just pissed off your bet.
What are you doing?
An idiot. Well, I'm glued to this. USA Sweden 12-10. If you missed it today, fun little show. Go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com. Talk some NFL draft. We had Patty football on. as their media day is today, and we'll keep an eye on what happens the rest of the night. Tomorrow, we're one day closer to the return of the NBA.
I got a Blazers segment tomorrow.
Actually, the NBA returns tomorrow.
We just don't play tomorrow.
Start Friday,
Or the Blazers don't play till Friday.
Okay, NBA returns tomorrow, one day closer to the Blazers returning. And that will do it for us, folks. So thanks so much for being a part of our Wednesday, everybody. The Firm of Harris and Meringue is coming up next. If you watch it on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're close. We're inching closer to 8,000 subscribers, so go hit that subscribe button. You haven't done it yet. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm of Harris and Meringue next. You're listening to 105.1 FM The Fan.